Okay, so when we left off, you guys had just battled some bugbears in the woods and were victorious over them. The rest of the night goes uneventfully. There's nothing to worry about in terms of battles, so you wake up in the morning.
Well, I'm glad we did that.
That was interesting in a scary kind of way.
Ysmyr's just waking up and she looks a little shell-shocked.
Yeah, Ysmyr, are you all right?
I don't know. And she's going to... First thing she's going to do is grab that longsword and take a look at it.
Yeah, looks a little bit different from yesterday.
The sword looks different?
Yep.
This is the not magic one that keeps following Ysmyr around?
Yeah, it's got an extra rune on it now.
Yeah, and the rune matches the first one, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's learning?
I need to think about this a little bit. I think I know what this is.
What do you think it is?
We know this was the blade in... I'm sorry, this is hard. This blade is bound to ancient elven bloodlines, and simplest way is it's found me, and I'm part of a bloodline. It's kind of decided it's mine.
So, but why would it get other runes? Is it learning? Is it
sentient?
Yeah, that could be troublesome.
I don't know, but this is a sword that belonged to some of my ancestors, apparently. Sorry, I'm still processing a lot of this.
It sounds like it's a lot.
It just, I didn't know my father, but it's through him that I'm connected to this blade, and I need to think a little more, but yeah, I had a weird night, guys.
How do you know all this?
Dreams. It told me in a dream, or something told me. It's just a lot right now, so sorry if I sound odd. I'm processing.
Speaking of which, I realized that there's some learnings that I never talked to you guys about. Now, I don't know if you want to go through it right now because it's a bit of a speech I'd have to give. But I never did talk to you about what I read out of that history book in chapters 5, 6, and 7.
I guess you could tell us while we pack and get going? Or is it going to break our minds like mine currently is?
It's mainly history talking about between the light, the dark, and the storm, and what happened afterwards. But yeah, let me give you the chapter headings at least. Chapter 5 is Light, Dark, and Storm. Chapter 6 is Godless. And Chapter 7 is Coralin Larthian.
I think we'll need to know about that.
I've got some of those too.
Yeah, because you were supposed to have read the first half of the book when I was supposed to be doing the last.
Yeah.
So it's the same book. So I don't know if you want me to add to the communal knowledge or if we just... I'm just thinking now's as good a time as any as we pack up and get ready.
I think there's a lot of things tied together right now that would greatly help if everyone shared.
Chapter 1, The Dwarf Wars. It seems impossible, but the book appears to be a document history from over 3,000 years ago. The stories depict a time when elven fortresses and cities were everywhere through the Brightwood, in a southern area called the Gorgodian Jungle. The north was ruled by a king, the south by a queen, and at their peak they created cities in the sky, gleaming bastions to be close to the sun and stars, and to get even further away from the vile dwarves. For 2,000 years, there are stories of grand battles between the two races, with dwarves rising up from their vast underground networks to raid and raze elven settlements. Small and stout, they were fierce warriors, but the elves brought down a rain of magic to turn them back every time. That's Chapter 1. Chapter 2 is on vile magic and the orcs. 1,500 years ago, the dwarves captured a squad of elven wizards and forced them to teach the dwarves the ways of the arcane. But where the elves used magic to bombard the dwarven forces, the dwarves used the arcane to twist and enhance their bodies. Apparently, there were purists among the dwarves who decried the practice and approached the elves with a peace banner to warn them about what was happening. But the result was a new race of beings, huge and powerful, capable of greater speed and ferocity. The orcs were born, and they rose up from the mountain halls to stake a claim to the surface world. At first, they were content with filling the land between the great treed kingdoms of the elves, and the elves kept a wary eye on the brutal monsters, too afraid to engage them out in the open. Chapter 3 is the Orc Wars. It was not long, in elven terms, before the orcs had become widespread and began making incursions into the forests, destroying smaller settlements with ease, and also threatening the wizards who had arrived to save their people. For the first time, the elves began to lose ground. For the first time, dwarves and elves united against the orcs. Those who had been pro-enhancement were long gone, leaving only the purest dwarves who saw the orcs as abominations. Together they took the fight to the orcs, and were still hard-pressed by their vast numbers. Neither the elves nor the dwarfs reproduced fast enough to make up for the huge population of orcs. And lastly, chapter 4, that leads into Kitiara's part, the Canopy King, Oathbreaker. 1100 years ago, Warelium, or Duna, the Canopy King, descended from the sky city of Lapis Sealo and joined the efforts against the orcs with a brash plan. Together, the elves and dwarves captured many orcs and returned them to Lapis Sealo, where dwarven and elven wizards worked together to create a new race that could meet the orcs on their own terms. Humans. Quick breeders who were intellectually superior to the orcs and learned all of the arts of war entered the field 1,020 years ago. Bolstered by the forces of dwarves and elves, the humans made great progress in pushing into orcish territory and creating their own fortresses that dotted the lands. The simple strength of arms of the orcs were not enough to overcome the ingenuity of the humans, so they hid in the forests and mountains, where they pushed out the elves and dwarves and could effectively ambush any intruders. Thus ended the Orc Wars.
All right, Chapter 5, Light, Dark, and Storm. Before the elves and dwarfs could work to reclaim their lost lands from the orcs and eradicate them, a new threat emerged in the continent of Uz, far to the east. Gnomish and halfling refugees, distant cousins to the dwarfs, came across the ocean to Drak with tales of a plague that ravished their lands. The dead were rising and attacking the living. A trio of powerful spellcasters were leading the assault with undead dragons at their command. The elves and dragons came together once more and sailed with their gnomish and halfling allies to wage war against the undead, while some of their forces remained behind to aid the humans in their ongoing battle against the orcs. The Lich Gluthor slew the elf prince Thelanor the Eternal, and many of the allied races fell to the undead before returning home. In his grief, the Canopy King pulled all of his forces back from aiding the humans and demanded that the dwarfs do the same and visit vengeance upon Gluthor. So it was that the Canopy King slew his undead son and his son's killer, but the cost was high. The dwarfs were nearly annihilated by the combined power of the Liches, Lucius, and Venia, but the two were slain, though the dwarfs swore they saw the two Liches return to the sling spells at their ships as they departed. The elves' numbers were cut in half by a flight of undead dragons, but the monsters were slain. The Canopy King returned to Nord with the remains of the fallen Gluthor. Now that was Chapter 5, and on to Chapter 6, which is Godless. As though his words had spot the goods themselves, the Canopy King's proclamation that the light had failed him and his son coincided with the fall of the Lapis, Kaoli, and the other flying cities. The elves, who had already lost so much in their wars against the undead, again suffered staggering losses, including the death of their last king. In the chaos that followed, the dwarfs disappeared into their tunnels, never to be seen again. The elves, without their floating citadels, were forced to come together in what few strongholds remained to them, or live with the humans. In acts of utter abomination, some humans bred with both orcs and elves, giving rise to half-breeds of both kinds. Now, I'm reading this is not my personal opinion. The irony of the elven and dwarven bloodlines living on through such acts of debauchery is a sad state indeed. Centuries passed with the elves dwindling in number and purity before clerics once again heard the whispers of the gods.
I will just say, as you're reading this, Ysmyr initially was just packing and seeming to keep her mind off things, but now she's just listening to you intently.
All right, the last chapter is Corellian Lotharian. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not sure. In the settling sun of the Elven Empire, a god named Corellon Laerathan emerged and offered the elves hope for a future they feared would never see. While the magic that returned to the elves was diminished compared to what they wielded in their prime, the ability to heal their wounded bolstered their numbers. It would be some centuries before the orcs found their own god to match the elves, but Grumsh did not offer the orcs help against the elves, but rather turned their chaos inward, battling amongst themselves to be the ultimate champion of Grumish. I'll have to ask Haru. The orcs did more damage to themselves than the outside world. Periodically, a war band would storm out of the woods, but the elves and humans maintained strong bonds and together managed to throw off the orcs time and again. The humans had found a pantheon of gods waiting for followers, and even some of the elves dabbled in the strange powers of these new gods, even if they never became as mainstream as Corlon Larathan. And so ends the chapters.
So,
Warren Eliam Orduna.
Humans are corrupted orcs?
Orcs were dwarves who enhanced their bodies.
Where dwarven and elven wizards worked together to create a new race after they captured the orcs. So to me, it sounds like the dwarves and the elvens worked on the orcs to create humans. It says they came in like 1,020 years ago. It doesn't say they came from other lands. It didn't say anything like that. It looks like they were created. Oh, that really changes everything for me.
Why?
Even looking back at the oldest songs and the melodies and the tales, I've never heard anything like this. This is totally lost knowledge.
I'm sorry it took me so long to catch you guys up on this. It's been kind of busy.
Yeah, and it's not your fault. I mean, I was just as bad.
Warren Eliam Orduna.
It was his son
My
that got
God.
killed after being corrupted into one of the undead.
I have his son's sword, Katiara.
His sons?
That is, oh my.
Warren Eliam was my great uncle. That's what I learned in my dream last night. Do you mind if I borrow your halves of the book?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can take it.
I have some family history to read up on. But past that, this tells us quite a bit.
It shines a light. I'm not sure how to piece everything together, but
Well,
I'm not exactly the smartest of us either.
elves and dwarves were at war. The dwarves enhanced themselves and created orcs, which wound up forcing the dwarves and elves to work together to create humans to fight the orcs.
Tempus, how do you feel about it?
My people have their own tales and stories as to where we came from, and I have never heard anything like this before. But it happens, you know, like sometimes your ancestors are actually twisted abominations of magic created for war, and you just have to get on with it.
Thank goodness for you sometimes, Tempus.
One thing that seems to be an ongoing theme is that the undead are enemies of everyone. So perhaps we can take that to carry forward into a new age of unity?
The undead are an abomination that do not belong to this world at all, and yes, they definitely need to be destroyed.
Tempus will give Miri a high five.
If you all remember, Hogarth wanted Jondalar gone because he knew about this lich Glothor, who clearly was tied to the elves and the reason they pulled away from the war. And then on top of that, you're right, the undead have been an issue for a very long time. And it seems that all of this is tied together with the assassin that faced us at the catacombs, with, what was his name? Urus Black, whatever was in the book. It's all a continuation of the same battles, especially now that Sharrow and Dowreth are coming back. Do you remember me telling you how that dream where he was ripping through the hells?
No, I don't, but I'm not doubting you.
It was in the catacombs.
The catacombs seem like a year ago to me.
And then there was that riddle. In the time before we fought our wars one elf against another, there can be no greater sin than elf slaying wife and mother. When gods fall silent, their heroes die. The land begins to heal. The new gods offer peace and quiet, for the old gods they did seal. Like, it's all tied together.
It is.
War leader, may I ask you a question?
Yes?
If your ancestor was running around 1100 years ago, and he is your great uncle, how old does that make you?
I'm only 55. Elves live a long time.
You're younger than I thought.
I know.
How old are you, Katiara?
Oh, I'm not all that. I'm not all that old, but I'm older than Ysmyr. I'm coming up on my century.
How old is Miri?
18.
Yaereene, how old are you?
122 years old.
Technically, in elven years, Yaereene is the adult here.
Woohoo! Oh no.
Yeah, you're the responsible one.
To be fair, elves do age a little slower. Tempus, how old are you?
Mumble, mumble.
Could you repeat that, please?
You're 16.
I have seen 16 winters, yes.
Yeah, I thought I do know about the difference in our lifespans.
Honestly, that's a little intimidating.
What is?
Just how old all of you are. And in the Jagged Tusks culture, we show great respect for our elders, and honestly, you're all combined the oldest people I have ever met ever. I really did not expect that.
Tempest, think of it like this. Every 12 years of an elf is like 1 year to an orc.
As you say, grandfather.
I'm not your flippin' grandfather.
Don't you dare start calling me grandmother.
I wouldn't like that either.
Tempest will nod seriously and will go back to stowing the camp.
By your standards, I'm not that much older than you. I'm maybe a year or two. That's it.
And life experience makes a difference as well.
If we learn from it. Well, after such a lovely morning breakfast and conversation, shall we pack up and get going?
I think so. We have a lot to think about while we walk.
I do apologize for my late arrival. Has the history lesson given us enough time to take a short rest? Could I use some of my hit dice?
We did a long rest before.
Yes, but did we have enough time for me to spend hit dice to regain health?
If you guys wanted to take a short rest while you were like packing up camp and talking about the history book, that would be totally fine.
I'm showing myself fully healed. Did I take any damage in that battle that I snoozed through?
Nope, you just healed everybody else.
Okay.
I had 10 extra hit points I didn't use. But I need them. I'm squishy.
And Tempest, don't forget that you get your Constitution modifier on those too.
Yes, thank you. I with that roll and with the amount I recovered from the long rest, I'm back up to full.
Okay, so on the map that I just shared, you guys are at the first bend inside the woods that turns sharply to the east. So you've got a choice here. You can either try to cut across the woods to the Daystar Lake, which would take maybe approximately a day if you had some good survival checks through the woods, or you can take the river around and it would take you about 2 days.
I would rather take the shorter way, just
Didn't we already agree to follow the river?
up to this point and then decide.
If we follow the river, we won't get lost.
Do we have enough time to try and make a raft? Which way is the flow of the river going? Is it going out to the Daystar or?
The river is frozen.
The river's frozen, we can walk on it.
That's right, it's winter.
So our choices are 2 days walking on the ice or try cutting through the trees. And in this case, I'd like to see what cutting through the trees do.
We didn't take the wagon with us?
We did take the wagon with us, but between Yaereene and myself being somewhat wood-wise, we should be able to navigate it.
How dense is the wood?
It's a fairly dense forest, but that said, the cart is fairly small, and you should be able to hopefully find ways through the trees.
Depends on how good our rolls will be, but I'm willing to risk it.
That was another argument towards taking the river, is we won't have to worry too much about finding a place to put the cart.
Trade-off is we are in the open on the river, and it's 2 days instead of 1. And if we are worried about getting that weapon, we are in a hurry.
I say we vote.
And how many days will it be if we get lost?
Have a little faith, Miri. We won't get
Of
lost.
course.
I'm unlikely to get lost, but we might have trouble with the wagon.
And Ysmyr, you have both of your spell slots today.
Whew. I'm voting going straight.
All right, that's one for straight. Miri, I take it you're voting for the river.
Yes.
Yaereene,
I'm good either way.
Lass, take a stand, one or the other.
I think we could probably make it if we went straight.
Thank you. So that's 2 for the overland. Tempus?
I believe we should take the river, but my motives are very selfish. I want to find additional clans and tribes and warn them of the coming undead, and urge them to head south to Nordgard if we can.
All right. So now it's 2 and 2, and I'm the decider.
Take a stance.
I'm trusting in your Yaereene and Tempus.
I'm for getting there fast. I'm sorry, but I think that's the best choice.
So through the trees.
Overland. However, we come to the first obstacle that slows us down and makes us leave the cart, or makes it longer than a day. I say we go back and trace.
Or we just head on a angle towards the river. We just have to head east, I think it is.
I can't get lost, you guys. I just know I'm really good at this.
Okay.
I have yet to encounter the obstacle that cannot be overcome with enthusiasm and rage.
I know, Tempest, but I don't want to hear your skull breaking on the tree trunk.
We'll see what breaks first.
Let's not say dead.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Off we go.
All right, I will take a survival check, please.
Would you want a separate roll from everyone, or can I help Yaereene so that she rolls at advantage?
You can help Yaereene to roll advantage.
Don't forget, Miri has guidance.
Go ahead and take
Yeah.
it.
Okay, so how do I do that through Beyond D&D Beyond?
For your skill, you just you hold down Shift and then click, and it'll give you advantage, and then you can roll an additional die for the guidance. What is it? Die 4?
Right, I have the HP modifier thing up.
So 21 total.
Yeah, you have no problems at all. You're looking well ahead and avoiding any pitfalls where the forest gets too tight, or there are ravines and cliffs, and you're managing to make good time through the woods up until about the middle of the day. And given how good your survival check was, you see some tracks in the snow as you get about the halfway point.
What kind of tracks do they look like?
Small humanoid.
I mentioned them. Which direction are they heading? Same direction as us or different?
They're kind of a mess of tracks, but you figure out that it looks like they are heading mostly north, the same direction that you're heading.
And do I know about how many there were there?
Probably 3.
So I mentioned that 3 small humanoids were headed in the same direction we appear to be heading in.
Would you allow me to make a survival roll to see if Tempus can identify, either by smell or by look of the tracks, what these are?
Sure.
I'm assuming I can't identify them, given the information you've given me already.
Yeah, you know that they're small humanoid, but I don't know how familiar you are. What are your favorite enemies?
One moment.
Ryan, would any of my lore and history of being... Give me that.
Humanoids are the ones.
Yeah, given that humanoids are your favorite enemy, you'd know that these are most likely goblin tracks.
Okay, I mentioned that there's probably some goblins heading the same way. I think about, and if I'd like to track them specifically, Ryan, I gain advantage there.
Sounds good.
They're heading the same way.
They are.
Do you know if they're far ahead?
Can I tell, or would you like me to do another roll, Ryan?
The tracks aren't old. They were definitely made today.
Okay, I share that as well.
They're heading the same way. Perhaps we can just keep an eye on them as we near, or do we want to try and catch up?
I would very much like a chance to catch up. My people did have relatively good relations with at least one tribe of goblins, and if they're living, I would like to invite them to head to Nordgard with whatever tribe they have.
I would like to catch up with them for different reasons.
Tempus, I don't know that Nordgard would be ready for goblins. They barely accepted the orcs, so be very cautious with your optimism.
Well, if nothing else, at least they could camp outside the city and, maybe trade or whatever. Have some kind of ability to fall back in.
If we want to catch up, it'll be cautiously. and hopefully not invite a fight. I'm a little worried that we could be walking into something we're not ready for.
But if we're forewarned, we're forearmed.
And besides, it will only be a matter of time before the people of Nordgard recognize just how wonderful the Jagged Tusk are. It is a very short jump from there for some goblins.
That depends.
Well, like I said, we'll try and catch up, but we'll do so cautiously.
I think that's wise, Ward Leader.
Now you're doing it?
Hehe.
So I think we'll continue on behind the tracks. Does anybody else have anything else that they want to do as we travel?
No, I'll just argue that we'll follow the tracks, but if they seem to deviate far off the path to Daystar Lake, then we keep going.
Yeah, make that call then.
I'll back you up on that as well.
Okay. Can I get another survival check then, please?
I will help Yaereene.
Miri, were you going to give guidance on that?
Yep.
I think I may have needed that.
You continue on north, and there are some tricky spots, but you managed to navigate it okay. And the tracks that you've been following appear to have been obscured a couple of hours out.
Can I specifically attempt to track the goblins to see if they're going?
You can.
Can I try and... Okay, I'd like to do that, please.
Oh boy, nice.
Very nice.
Sweet.
Yeah, you see the goblin tracks head off to the northeast, kind of off the path. They've obscured the tracks in this area, but then they didn't bother after a while.
Okay, so I let them know. How far away are we from the lake at this point?
You're probably still a couple of hours away from the lake.
So guys, what do we want to do?
How late in the day is it?
It's getting to be late afternoon at this point.
So we could press on, make the lake by early evening, but if we pursue the goblins, we'll not make the lake today.
I would make an argument for finding the goblins all the same. It is very likely that they will quickly find out that we are traveling in their territory, and we may face another nighttime ambush if we do not establish relations. I don't know this for certain, but there is a chance of it.
You're growing up, Tempus.
Tempus looks a little bit bashful at that.
I think he's actually got a decent look at it. I would support him in us following the goblins. We know where the lake is. We don't know where the goblins will be.
I can follow them if you want me to.
If they're very far off track, we get back to heading to the lake. I don't want to chase them through the forest for no reason either.
Can we tell how old the tracks are at this point? Are we hours, days?
They're not old at all. It appears that you guys have been gaining ground on them.
Out of an abundance of caution, there might be something we could do. Yaereene, do you think you could maybe find a bird or a small animal somewhere nearby?
I think so. We've noticed no oddity in the absence of wildlife, have we?
Nope, everything's normal in the woods.
All right, I'll need 10 minutes. If you think you could find something, then we might be able to scout cautiously. Blah.
Okay.
I'll start ritual casting Speak with Animals.
Guess while he does that, I'm keeping an eye out on the surroundings.
While he's doing that, I'd like to see if I can sense whether they're within 5 miles of us.
There are definitely goblins within 5 miles of you, and you get the sense that there are a lot of them within that 5 miles, and they're to the northeast.
Can I tell how many miles and how many?
Well, fairly close to you, maybe a mile out, you would guess, if that. There are the 3 that you've seen the tracks for. But there are a lot of older tracks as well in this area, and there could be entire tribes of goblins. So you would guess that there could be up to maybe 200 goblins in a 5 mile radius.
I mentioned that. That seems really important to know.
That's very important. I would rather just try and avoid dealing with whole groups of goblins. We're not set up for that. Even if Tempus wants to talk to them, if he can't convince them to get along with us, then I don't want to deal with a whole tribe.
I agree. If we engage a group that large, there's no way of guaranteeing our safety. I was hoping to have a talk with a warband similar to ours, but approaching an entire tribe without knowing who they are is foolishness. Yaereene, have you perhaps found an animal of some kind?
Uh, no, I just kind of concentrated on it. Yeah, I can communicate with some of the beasts in general, and I can just, spend some time concentrating on any of my favorite enemies.
I think Tempus was hoping to talk to a bird.
Yeah, there's birds in the area if you wanted to talk to some birds.
It is officially Tempus's Disney princess moment. He is going to walk to the tree line and say, "Little birdies, come and talk to Tempus."
And a whole bunch of little birds come and settle on Tempus's head and shoulders and land on the ground around you and around in the trees. And there's lots of little birds who would like to speak with you.
Little birdies, I am going to give you lots of food. But first, who knows about the goblins nearby?
Food!
Oh, I'll retrieve like some kind of ration that might be edible by birds from the cart and start scattering it around.
Okay, they happily pick away at the offered food, and some of them leave afterwards, no longer interested in you, but some of them do stay to chat.
Do any of you know about the goblin tribe that is nearby?
Oh yes, lots of goblins.
Can anybody tell me what they look like in terms of their dress or appearance?
They big. They hunt us.
Does anyone know the name of the tribe?
What is a tribe?
A tribe is like a flock, only it's made of goblins and orcs.
Oh, yes. They lots of goblins, like flock of goblins.
Tempus is starting to feel a little bit doubtful about his prospects as a Disney princess. He'll thank the birds and send them back to the trees.
Okay, they thank you for the food and fly off.
Sadly, the birds were not intelligent enough to give me a lot of information. Let's try and find a quiet place to maybe camp as we push on towards the river.
I thought we were continuing to the lake. We're not lost.
Sorry, yes, but I think these goblins are between us and the lake at this point, no?
You've been heading north, and the goblin tracks and what Yaereene sensed were to the northeast.
If we're cautious, we could try skirting around without alerting anything.
Yes, we should, and we should also keep an eye out to make sure that nobody is spotting us without us knowing about it.
Perception check?
For everybody?
Everybody who wants to look.
Wait, where do I find that?
It's in your skills list in the middle bar.
Mine's not popping up, but I did roll an 18.
So yeah, you don't see any goblins following you as you make your way north.
Right, and you remember I had the 22.
As a group, you're fairly confident that nobody's following you.
Tempus is going to ride in the cart for a little bit after he sent a bird off flying. Brian, I don't expect the bird to provide any more intelligence, but just from what I can see through its eyes, do you think I'd stand a chance of identifying the tribe?
Yes, you will be able to see details of the tribe through the bird's eyes.
Okay. Would you like a roll for me to try and determine if I'm familiar with this goblin tribe in particular?
Yes, give me a history roll.
Oh, great. I'm so good at that. Hell, I'm good at that!
You are a herald after all. Yes, you recognize the symbols around this goblin tribe, and they are loyal to the Flesh Taker tribe of orcs.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and exit my trance, and I'm going to walk next to Ysmyr for a bit. I'm assuming she's guiding our cart, so I'll approach Ysmyr and say, "War leader, I have a question for you."
Okay.
Yesterday, when you were speaking with me, you made a comparison between my actions and those of the Flesh Takers. I'm curious what you know about the Flesh Takers, and why.
Honestly, as an entire tribe, I don't know a ton about them. What I know of them, I've seen through battle. It's part of the whole reason I wound up coming to Nordgard in the first place.
The Jagged Tusk and the Flesh Takers have been avowed enemies of each other for several generations. While you said I was behaving violently and even aggressively towards the citizens of Nordgard, everything you've ever heard about orcs, everything you've ever been told or warned in stories about savagery and viciousness, you've heard about the Flesh Takers. They are the most wicked and conniving of the orc tribes, bar none.
I know.
I went to Yaereene's parents, and I declared war on them in a ceremonious fashion. I offered them no violence at the time. I even left them avenues of discussion should they ever bring the axe I gave them back to me, if they ever want to surrender or explain themselves. A flesh taker would have stolen a cart, murdered the person that the cart belongs to, stolen some horses, murdered the people that owned the horses, then set the cart on fire, set the horses on fire, and directed it at the front of Yaereene's mansion. They are savages, utterly and completely. They are without any kind of redeeming quality. And it turns out that the goblin tribe in front of us is allies of the flesh takers. So we should stay away from them.
Okay, well, first of all, we will stay away with them. I'm glad you found that out. Second, I compared your actions to them because I knew it would make a point. I know that you and your clan are not the flesh takers and already have clearly behaved better, but I was angry and wanted to drive up my point home. Third thing, I don't think Yaereene's parents know the significance of the axe and what returning it could mean, so you need to think things through a little bit better on that account as well.
Oh, you think I should go back and see them again?
Oh, no.
No, I would not do that because right now they just see you as basically attacking them. To them, you are a flesh taker in that you just straight up threaten them and attack them. They don't know any better.
Well,
And they don't know the significance of your ceremonial thing. So to them, you just threw an axe at them and called it good.
To be honest, Tempus, I didn't know what it was about.
well, and I'm going to look over at Yaereene, who I assume is still scouting ahead. The war continues. Thank you for listening.
Well, we'll sort it out, but at least thank
Let's
you
deal
for the
with the
heads up.
zombies first.
We have goblins to get past first, Miri. You're thinking far ahead again.
Yes, I meant we'll deal with the mess back in Nordgard once we've gotten the... Yes.
Whatever we're looking for. No, you're right too. So I'm assuming we're continuing forward cautiously now that we know that the goblins are flesh taker friends.
Sounds as good to me as anything.
Okay. So you guys continue on to the north, and by the time you're starting to get tired, you do reach the edge of the lake. The lake ahead of you is completely frozen over, and you can see a large island sitting out on the water. Yaereene, can you give me a survival check with advantage? You see tracks on the surface of the lake. They appear to be older, but there's definitely, this is within the range of goblin activity.
I let everybody know that we should be very careful and why we should be very careful. So I let them know about the tracks.
Chandalar said that we should look for a cave, correct?
Yes, and at least that would be out of the weather. But that could also be where the goblins are holding up.
I thought the elderly elf man had said that the lake would be glowing.
How dark is it?
It's not dark yet. The sun is probably going to be up for another half an hour or so.
In the winter? Must be awfully early.
Well, then, is everybody good with us trying to find this cave then? It might be a good place where we can hole up for the night and continue exploring later.
That's a good idea.
I kind of think that perhaps maybe we shouldn't all just go wandering off. We've got both goblins to worry about while we're finding the cave.
You said anything about wandering off. Let's at least go over to the island.
Tempus stops wandering off and will come back to the group.
Thanks, Tempus.
Yeah, you go across the lake, and by the time you get there to the island, it is getting dark. You can make perception checks, please. So as you approach, even Katiara can see that there is light coming from ahead. This island is not particularly large. Like it doesn't rise up high out of the water. It is wooded, but you can see through the trees a glowing light ahead. Everybody other than Katiara can see figures in the distance, not at the source of the light, but just you can see that they're shadowed at the edge of the light. There's and Miri, you can tell that there are 6 of them.
I convey this information to the rest of the group that there are 6. How big are these creatures?
Your roll wasn't that good.
Are they vaguely humanoidish?
Yes, they are humanoid.
Okay, over there, 6 humanoid-ish creatures. Keep an eye out for them. We're not sure if they're friendly.
Okay. Do we want to continue on then, or do we want to try and hide the cart right here, right now, and maybe try and get an ambush in on these guys?
I think hiding the cart would be a good plan.
Let's definitely hide the cart because we do want to get into that cavern. We need to go in there. I don't want to deal with the cart and possible underground.
Aren't the tablets in the cart?
No.
No, the tablets are back in Nordgard in the Temple of Pelor.
Sorry, I forgot.
I would like you guys to give me a stealth check for hiding the cart and the mule.
Could I get assistance from someone for that?
I will help with that.
And Miri, could I
Also
maybe
take guidance.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Had a little chat with Chewie, told him to be quiet.
If you want me to, I can. It'll take 10 minutes.
Maybe that's how you help.
Okay, I'll ritual cast Speak with Animals. It will take me 10 minutes. And in the end, I'll just whisper to Chewie, "All right, Chewie, we need you to be very, very quiet. Be a good mule. No braying. I am going to leave you out some food, and if you get us caught, I'm going to eat you."
Chewie agrees to the plan and quietly eats his food. And he looks nervously at Tempus.
Motivational Speaker of the Year. Shall we start sneaking up on these figures?
Do we want to all go at once, or some of us ahead and some behind? Ready?
Do you want me to see if I can scout?
Oh,
I could go with you.
Can I actually take a minute to do the same primeval awareness I did before, Ryan? In case there are more in the cave?
You can.
I can, and I can learn that about any humanoids in the area.
In that case, you can sense that there are 7 humanoids in that area.
Okay. Are they all in about the same location?
They are.
Okay, I let them know there are 7, so there's one more than we thought.
Can you tell what they are?
I don't know if I can.
All right. Well, what do we think? Small scouting party and backup party behind?
I think that yes, those of us that are skilled at sneaking should scout a short distance ahead with the rest of us close by as reinforcements. Now, I must stress, if these are flesh takers, there can be no negotiating with them. They are liars, deceivers, cannibals, and slavers.
Ryan, while I was doing that, I'd like to see if there's any other major groups of humanoid, or any other groups that I should be aware of humanoids within 5 miles of me.
The band of goblins that you detected earlier are to the east of your current position, about 5 miles out. And you do sense more. Now, does that tell you the exact race of?
No, I don't. I get to know groups of humanoids. I don't know. It doesn't say that it tells me what kind of humanoids, just.
So there are more on the north shore of the lake and the west shore of the lake. So you have encampments of humanoids in various areas and distances. There are several clusters that
Around
range,
the lake.
that range in size from a dozen to 40 or 50.
I convey that to everybody that there's a lot of people around this lake.
So we want to draw as little attention as possible.
I think that would be wise.
Well, Yaereene, you and I sneak ahead.
Sounds good.
Gonna pull my hood up.
Will you
Okay.
cast guidance on us, please, Miri?
Yep, take it.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's just Ysmyr and Yaereene going forward. Everyone else is hanging back.
Yes.
Miri is rather more inclined to make too much noise.
I mean, Kitiara can come too. I was just thinking he's a good middle backup guy.
Miri clanks too much.
No, I want to go with them.
Okay, so we've got a party of 3 stealthers going forward, and Tempus and Miri hanging out in the back.
Because dividing the party has always worked so well for us in the past.
Well, I'm thinking it's like not a full division. It's more like, okay, we're 30 or however many feet from you, so you don't get heard while we take a look.
Yeah, it's more like if something happens, we have to deal with it one round, and then the rest can rush in.
Yeah,
Okay. I would like stealth checks, please.
I am not making a stealth roll because mine would be terrible.
Okay. So yeah, you'll have to stay 60 feet back from the rest of the party then.
I'll stay with her.
Okay. Very, very nice stealth rolls, everybody. You get fairly close, and you can make perception checks.
This is where I've been struggling tonight.
I've been up and down, but I'm up right now.
Okay, Tiara, what languages do you know?
Common, Elfish, Orc.
Yaereene, what languages do you know?
Common, Elfish, Halfling, Sylvan, and Undercommon.
Okay, Yaereene, you don't understand what they're talking about. Ysmyr, you don't hear them. But Tiara, you hear them speaking in Orcish. And there are 2 larger orcs standing to your right, addressing the 4 smaller orcs. They're still big, but telling them to go off and gather some food from the mainland, and they'll keep watch over the cave until the chief gets there.
All right. I turn around and say very softly, there's a big orc there telling them to be careful. I just basically relay the information back of what I have heard. Do we keep moving on, or do we wait and try and jump them before the chief shows up, or do we wait for the chief and try and hear some more?
I think we'd rather be in and out before the chief showed up.
Well, we'll have to take out the guys there.
Ryan, would I be able to tell if these are flesh takers or not?
There is a banner, and you see well in the darkness, and you know the flesh takers. So yes, these are flesh taker orcs.
Okay, yeah, we don't want the chief showing up. We don't want their clan showing up.
Then how do we take them out?
Well, I want the rest of our party near. So, what if we went to Tempus and Miri and then set ourselves up to draw the orcs away from the cave?
Ryan, do I see all 7 here?
You see 6.
6 orcs, correct?
Yep.
And potentially something in the cave, or someone.
Yeah, from here, it's very easy to see that the mouth of the cave is illuminated, and it's quite a bit brighter the deeper that you go into the cave.
Katiara, can you hear, does
Hi?
it sound like they have a prisoner or somebody that they're respecting, that they're worried about, either of those situations?
I could try. Ryan, do you want another perception roll, or did I get good enough on the 21?
They continue the chatter, and one of the orcs says that she doesn't want to leave. She wants to stay there. But the 2 larger ones say, no, all of you go. We can handle this. There's nobody around anyway. And if any goblins come around, we'll just kill them. And so finally, after a little bit more back and forth, the 4 orcs prepare to head off.
We need to grab Miri and Tempus now.
Now, from that conversation, can I tell by their tone of voice, did they want to stay because they're wanting to play with something that's in the cave, or that it's
Insight.
actually a goblin in there? Okay.
You're not sure. It's hard to tell, even though you're quite familiar with orcs. At this distance and not being able to see facial expressions and stuff, it's just too difficult to tell.
Yeah, fair. I pass along that they're talking about something. Some of them were reluctant, but were persuaded to leave. And I agree. I think we need to get the full party together and bum rush these buggers and find out what's in the cave.
Party together, wait for the ones who are leaving to leave, so we are fighting less of them, and then yes.
Okay, so are you moving back? Are you moving back before they leave or after?
I will move back. I'll leave you guys here, and I'll go get them if you'd like.
I would wait until the 4 or however many leave, and then we start moving. Otherwise, we might draw attention.
Can do.
Okay. So yeah, it's not very long before the 4 head off in a completely different direction than you guys are sitting in, and there's just these 2 now sitting outside the cave opening.
Ryan, do we have to re-roll our stealth, or can we try and use our previously established stealth to get up close and try and do sneak attacks?
I will need new stealth rolls if you guys start moving again. You made it to your positions, but if you move at all, it'll require new stealth.
Totally fair. Totally fair. I understand that. Just
Let me
wanted
go
it
back
clear.
by myself and get them. You guys stand watch and listen.
Yeah, and we'll just be ready to step in if we need to.
That work for everyone?
Yep.
Yep.
There's only 2 of them there, right?
Yes, the 2 big ones.
Okay, I'm going to wait for everybody else to catch up, and then I am going to chat with a plan.
So that's an 18 total.
Guidance only lasts for a minute.
No, we'll say you're right at the end of the minute, so we'll add the +4, so you get 18.
Okay.
And they don't appear to notice as you head back.
So I'm assuming stealth rolls from each of us.
And Miri can throw guidance on those, can't she? With since it's a cantrip.
Would you be willing to, Miri?
It is a cantrip. I would be willing to. Is it within my range?
I'm standing right beside you, and so is Tempus.
They're escorting you back up.
Oh, because, yeah, that's a touch spell.
Right, that's why I came back to let you guys know that what we found and to get you guys to come and fight. So I'm wondering if you can cast guidance on the 3 of us who are standing. Well, yourself, me, and Tempus. We're all right together.
Yep. Hang on. I also have another thing.
I was going to say, Katira, you seem so intent on making sleep work.
Sleep is awesome at this level. That's the 2 guards up by the yellow. It's me and not Ysmyr, Yaereene.
Yes, Ysmyr.
And then it's you, Tempus, and whoever else went back to escort you up, Miri.
Okay. I don't think I'm allowed to use guidance on myself.
I'm looking right now, and it says you touch 1 willing creature. So as long as you are a willing creature to your own
You
spell,
touch yourself.
Yeah.
Just like the song.
Oh, where's the Divinals when we need them?
What?
It's the band that did the song "I Touch Yourself."
What?
Worry about it.
So yes, everybody can have guidance on their stealth rolls.
Okay, and now we try to attempt to stealth back.
I'm really not sure that's going to help much.
I'm going to use guidance.
The point is to get you closer.
I mean, I guess.
Can I also use my inspiration, or did I have to say that beforehand?
You have to say it before you start rolling.
Cool, I can never remember because Bardic is one way and regular inspiration is the other way. Always confuses me.
Yeah, I know.
Or less stealthy the way back.
Katira and I are ready just in case.
Good
Yep.
plan.
Yep. And Miri, I need a stealth roll from you too.
Okay. Give me a moment to try that.
There you
There
go.
you go.
And you rolled better than
Okay.
either Tempest or myself.
And you still have guidance if you want even more.
Stealth cleric.
I remember her rolling really well on stealth in the temple too.
Which is weird because I roll at disadvantage on stealth because
Yep.
I'm very...
Yeah, did it
Noisy.
right. You rolled 17 and 16, and it only gave you the 16.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys start making your way back to the cave with Tempus at a 10.
Oh,
What is your dex bonus, Tempus?
My dex bonus is a +1.
Well, that's better than their +0 for wisdom. So you managed to get up with Ysmyr and Katiara undetected.
Holy moly, didn't see that coming.
All right. Now, what I can do is I can put them to sleep, and then we go up and we can go in, take care of whatever's inside there, and
Agreed.
focus just on that.
I think that's really smart.
Perhaps a volley of ranged attacks. If Miri attacks you,
Why?
so that they have less HP for your sleep, man. If you go immediately after we take shots at them, you have a better chance of putting them out.
And here's my concern is if we just put them to sleep and their chief comes, what happens then?
Well, to be blunt, we can put them to sleep and walk up to them and make sure they don't wake up.
Okay, but the way I'm looking at it,
Rude, but at the same time,
I have no idea where you were going with that. Here's two options I
smart,
see.
just not very nice.
These are flesh
Pardon?
eaters. None of them are nice. I was going to say we could try, if Katiara tries to put them to sleep first, then they're asleep and they just get called out by the chief for falling asleep while we're busy, if he gets here before we're done. Or we attack first, they're knocked out, and then they're warning them about us.
I say put them to sleep and then walk up and slit their throats.
I would say I put them to sleep. We go in, deal with whatever's inside, and on the way out, we have the choice to slit their throats and be gone. But still, if we slit their throats, they'll know something's up. But we've already dealt with whatever's inside, so they're going to know one way or the other. I just say that we give ourselves the option on the way out.
But that's smart.
Tempest,
Yes.
could you
All right.
please give me a... I'm not sure what this would be. Perhaps perception or investigation, whatever's better.
Who do you want doing that?
Just Tempest.
They're both pretty bad, so
Guidance?
Nice.
Don't even need it.
You, now that you're up closer and can see them better, you recognize that these aren't just regular orcs. These are orogs.
okay, these are ogre or calf breeds. They're
shoot.
going to be a fair bit tougher than a regular orc. I don't think you can reasonably knock them both out with your sleep spell, Katiara. We really should try and hit both of them at the same time. Like, let us do a ranged volley, and then maybe you can put one of them to sleep.
Let's all aim for one, a specific one.
So you're saying that you don't think the strength of this is enough to take out one?
They're half ogres. They are very, very, very tough. I might even admit that they're tougher than me, but not quite.
Well, I'll not argue when you're actually dissing yourself.
I can do two things. I can either try and blind them, or I can make it dark around them so they can't see us.
But then we couldn't see them to aim either, right?
Well, I could.
Honestly, though, that's not terrible. They're not particularly smart, so they might panic and run off.
All right.
Or I'll hold that in my pocket.
What if they run off in a direction where they become not our problem anymore?
Except they'll be screaming like little girls and alerted the chief on his way and whatever reinforcements and bodyguards beyond the 4 that went to get them.
There's people to the north, east, there's 200 goblins. We have things to worry about.
Now, what I'd like to do then is, before we start anything, I'd like to throw around indiscriminately my 4 bardic inspirations on the 4 of you.
Thank you.
So bardic inspiration gives you 1d6 on an attack, an ability, or saving throw in the next 10 minutes.
Ranged attack, and we'll just be ready for a fight if the sleep spell doesn't work.
I think that's the best plan we're going to have.
All right. New then. As part of the ranged attack, I will be casting a shatter.
Okay. Let's get everybody to roll initiative, and you guys will get a surprise round.
Tempus?
Tempest just needed
What?
to run off AFK for a second.
I'm not doing much at the moment.
You'll get there. It just means you're bottom of the surprise round. Also, I vote we spread out a bit.
Well, we do have movement as part of our surprise round. Okay, roll initiative, Tempus. He joins Miri.
Yippers.
What's the break on that?
I have
So-
a +1 dex.
Yeah, so Miri, with your +2, you get to go before Tempus.
Okay.
Did we end up going with the ranged attack and
Your
then
plan. Yeah. And we should all shoot for the same one, either the left or the right. Take
I
your pick.
think we want to whittle both their health down, don't we?
I thought we wanted to make sure one of them got impacted by sleep.
If we take them all down, that's fine. I'm throwing a shatter, which will attack both equally because it's an area effect spell. Like, they're close enough from what I saw of your scenarios that a shatter will hit both.
Yes.
There's an unknown third, remember?
I'm thinking it's a goblin being held prisoner to keep them compliant.
I'm thinking it's an elf or something like that being held prisoner.
And I think it's one of the bad guys looking in on stuff. So we all have our opinions.
Okay, Ysmyr, you get to go first.
Well, guys, did we choose one or all?
no
I'm
time to
doing
decide.
both with my spells, so it's up to you guys.
Tempest, what did you say?
Lead us, war leader.
War leader, what I would say is we take a look at our shots and how they go
Okay.
and
Well,
make the decision.
well, then I'm gonna just aim for. Sorry, scrolling up. I guess I'll aim for the one right in front of me, Ryan. I'm assuming I'm kind of in the middle.
Yeah, the Tempus is right in the middle of your group. You are just one to the left of Tempus.
Okay, I'm aiming for the guy with the sword. Or whatever it is.
Okay, the guy with the sword up, or the guy with the sword pointed at the ground?
Up.
Okay,
And I'll just Eldritch Blast him, I guess.
that's a hit.
Ooh, good one.
And then I'm going to take that chance to run a little bit to the left so I'm not clumped together with everyone else. And maybe it draws their attention so they don't just charge forward.
How far are you moving left?
Say 10 feet from the person on the left.
Okay, yeah, that's Katir on the left. Okay, anything else on your turn?
Sorry. I'll cast Hexblade's Curse on the guy I just hit.
Okay.
And that should be it.
Next up is Yaereene.
As a bonus action, I'll cast Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
Do you need to see it?
Nope.
Okay. I will then shoot the same one that Ysmyr attacked. Oh, it's asking me a question. I need to check something for a moment.
I just put that up so you know what's going on there.
It's below its maximum health, right?
Yes, it is.
Excellent. And I can use Bardic Inspiration, right?
Yes, you
For my
can.
attack?
Yes,
I would like to use
1d6.
that.
Oh, nice. You hit.
Excellent. And I'll also add then my Hunter's Mark damage. Just got to bring it back up again. I do not know what. Oh, it's wanting to know which, depending on which kind of weapon I had. That's it.
Oh, okay. So that was piercing. So you get
Yeah.
6.
Another 6.
I had no idea what was going on. I had to check that for a second.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on there either. It's like 11 damage.
Like, wow, that's a good spell.
Yeah,
No
it was
kidding.
a little odd.
Anything else on your turn, Yaereene?
No, I'll say the 23 damage is great.
Yeah, no kidding. So next up is Kaitiara.
Okay, the one that they've been beating on, does he look bloodied?
Oh yeah, he does not look in a good way.
Rather than use sleep at second level, I'm going to use shatter on second level.
I thought you were going to use Shatter anyway.
I was only going to use shatter on first level, but it's enough that I think I can kill the one and really hurt the other, rather than knock one out and have nothing happen to the second.
Okay, can you link the spell for me? I need to see the area of effect on that.
And are you choosing to place it so it overlaps with the cave or doesn't overlap with the cave?
I'm doing it so it only affects the two of them.
Okay.
Damn it. I'm trying to share it.
Yeah.
Okay, a sudden loud ringing noise, painfully intense. I'm just going to cut and paste it.
I think it's the display on voice to chat talk, not the red button.
There.
Okay, 10-foot radius sphere. So yeah, you can hit both of them.
Okay, we'll ignore the other ones because he asked me to share it, and I shared.
Okay.
So second level, so it's 3d8. If it hits, if they fail the con 14.
Oof. Okay, so
One
even if,
saves.
well, it doesn't matter if the other one saves or not, because even half damage is going to bring him down.
Okay.
So I'm just doing the save for one, and he'll take 9 thunder damage. And the guy with the sword that was up goes down. Miri.
I really need to remember to save my Hexblade's curse because they always go down when I don't need the health.
Well, you can move the Hexblade after.
I don't think I'm the right level.
Oh, okay. Miri, you're up. Unless Keiichiro, did you have anything else you wanted to do?
I don't think I have a bonus action, but let me double check. Nah, it's only if I'm in close. I can do 2-weapon fighting or healing word. I've used my bardic inspiration. I'm done.
All right, Miri, you're up.
How far am I from
There-
things? Things. One of them is dead.
Yeah, you're 30 feet away from the other Orog.
All right. I could sacred flame it,
Yeah.
or
If you don't want to use a spell slot, Sacred Flame is good. Guiding Bolt is a ranged one if you have it prepared,
I do.
or if you have something to support. If you want to support someone while the fight goes on, depending on how long it goes. Like I don't know what you have prepared, but there's like Shield of Faith and stuff.
I have flaming sphere. I don't think I really need the area attack spell, so.
Sacred Flame and Guiding Bolt are the ones I know offhand that are like direct attack.
And you also don't need to use a spell if you have a bow or anything like that.
Let's just sacred flame the thing.
Okay. It fails its save and takes 2 radiant damage.
Better than nothing.
Not very useful.
Hey, you cast a spell.
And it went off.
Yep.
And it did damage.
So better than nothing. Anything else on your turn, Miri?
I did light other things on fire. I think I'm going to take a couple steps forward.
Okay. I've moved you ahead 10 feet.
Yeah.
And yeah, Sacred Flame isn't the same as like Fireball or something. The flames are more like light than anything.
No, I did burning hands on something last time, and it lit other things on fire.
Yeah, no, Sacred Flame won't do that. So Tempus, you're up.
I'm going to move within 30 feet of him and heft a javelin at his head.
Okay. That is a hit.
I will then ready my halberd and just give him a cheeky point with a hand across my neck. We're coming for you.
Were you raging?
Nope, saving that for later.
Okay.
All right. So the Orog, in one round, watches his friend go down and sees the war band coming at it out of the woods, and it prepares its great axe to defend itself. Ysmyr, you're up.
I think she is just going to Eldritch Blast it again.
Okay.
Ha!
Wow. Okay. Crit. And
She does not like flesh takers, no matter what form, guys.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Anything else on your turn?
Other than she's gonna, can I use my bonus action to take a look around and just make sure it's just these guys or anything like that?
Your passive perception isn't picking up anything else right now.
Okay, then for now I'm good.
Okay. Next up is Yaereene.
As a bonus action, I'm going to transfer my Hunter's Mark to the standing one.
Okay.
Then I'm going to shoot the other dude. He's taken damage, right? From
He sure
most
has.
recently from Ysmyr. And then I add my Hunter's Mark damage as well. And I'm just going to roll that.
Okay.
Just an extra one.
Just that little poke.
Yep, just enough.
He is teetering on his feet and bleeding from multiple wounds, but raises his great axe and charges ahead at Miri, who's closest to him. And
Does he cross within 10 feet of me? I have a halberd, I have a reach, and I would like to use my polearm master reaction to whack him.
Whack-a-mole.
you can whack him then, but you miss. Your halberd rings off of his plate mail, and
Am I able to use my bardic inspiration, or
Sure.
oh
Didn't
no?
didn't help. Your halberd rings off of his armor, and he goes berserk on Miri.
We tried, Miri. We tried.
Does an 18 hit Miri?
The answer is yes.
Okay.
18 is exactly what my armor class is. With my shield.
Yeah, his second attack misses. So you take 10 points of slashing damage as he swings his great axe across at you and whacks you on.
Well, there went all the HP I recovered.
Good thing we have healing potions and spells.
And as a bonus action, he is going to move his speed towards another hostile creature. You can see he's going to move around Miri and come around behind her. He's not leaving your threat range. He's just going around you, staying in your threat range. And he's now, well, I'll take a picture, but he's between Miri and Yaereene. Okay, so Miri is the one in the white cloak with the shield on the right, and it is now behind her. Yaereene is kind of kitty corner to the Orog. Tempus is out front next, and then Tiara is kind of in the middle of Ysmyr and Tempus in the back there.
Okay, so I'm the yellow shirt with the sword over his head.
Yeah.
Okay. Who else is behind me? Tempus?
Miri and Tempus are both behind you in initiative.
All right, I am going to take the chance. I will move 2 towards and then 1 up, so I'm between Tempus. I'm in the middle of the 3 good guys and just to the left looking at this picture of the bad guy.
Okay, so you're getting right
I'm
into...
moving in melee.
Okay.
I do have a bonus action of 2 weapon fighting. I am going to use my longsword first.
2 weapon fighting requires 2 light weapons.
I learned last longswords don't count.
What?
They're not light.
All right, I had a 19. I will do it the right way now, which is higher.
Yeah, 21 is better than 19, and both would have hit. And you do 2 points of damage, and it drops.
Okay, so...
Way to go.
Well, I figured it was close, and I figured if I didn't take it down, one of the 2 of you guys would do it.
I say we, as quietly as possible, now go and find out what's in that cave.
Miri, are you okay?
Ow.
I don't think so. She took 10 hit points.
Okay. Well, remember you have a greater potion of healing and a potion of healing too.
And you also have your spells.
And can cast healing spells.
Make sure you're taken
Remember which
care of.
ones I'm allowed to use on myself.
Any healing spell you can use on yourself.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's always been like that.
I remember that being not possible at least once.
Well, you pick a spell, and we'll tell you if it's not possible, but I think all of them should be.
I don't know if it is because a life cleric can't do spells on themselves until 6th level or something.
I don't recall that, and I was a life cleric, but I won't argue.
Depends on the table too.
I may be misremembering something from 4th Ed. Alright, I'm currently at 9 out of 31 hit points. How much do those potions of healing do?
Use your spells first if you can, because those sometimes don't get used in a day, and then you'll have the potion for later.
Okay.
Yeah, potions are bloody expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was using it as a chance to give everyone a reminder of what we do have, especially since our healer is hurting right now.
Bad luck.
Well then, I can still heal. She's better at it, but I can do it too.
Am I? Do you know that?
At this level, you would have healing word or cure wounds.
I have both.
Ysmyr, what you're thinking about is Blessed Healer at level 6, and that makes it
Okay.
when you cast a healing spell on somebody else, you also get to cast. You also get healing on yourself.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Tempus, you can loot the bodies.
Hey, Miri, you get 1 extra.
What?
Didn't you lose 10?
Yeah, but I was only at 19.
Yeah, but you got 1 extra than you lost, so bonus.
My max is 31 right now.
Still better than me.
Yeah. Did that mark off the usage of the...
Okay, Tempus, you find 15 copper pieces and 9 gold pieces, as well as the gear they're carrying, which is they have a great axe each, javelin each, and plate armor.
I'm sorry, Ryan. Could you repeat that? I missed that.
It was 15 copper, 9 gold, 2 great axes, 2 javelins, and 2 suits of plate armor.
Just tell me what you're keeping or throwing in the party stuff, and I'll write it down. I guess you're keeping it. We don't have the wagon.
Or at least we'll put the currency in the party coffers. Miri, should be proficient with heavy armor, so do you want that plate?
I don't know if I can wear it.
No, it's life clerics that get proficiency with heavy armor.
She's light.
My bad. That stuff is expensive. Tempus want, but Tempus don't care about material items. We're good. Leave the plate
We
in
can
the...
grab it later.
Yeah, leave the plate in the...
How heavy is it?
The plate into the now hidden cart.
I'm not dragging it back right now.
Yeah, that'd be way too obvious.
We still need to go in and deal with whatever's inside for good or bad.
To answer your question, plate armor weighs 65 pounds each.
Which means I would not be able to wear it.
But plate armor. Okay, yeah, we're
We
not
can
taking
drag it
armor right
back
now.
to the cart later.
Yeah, we're not going to take it right now. I'll strip them of their javelins, so I'm going to add 3 javelins to my inventory, and
Weren't there only 2?
that includes the one that I threw. So I'll take care of that, and then do we want to take the time to hide the bodies as best we can, like kick snow over them?
I doubt snow will work.
I look around. How much of a spray of blood is all over the landscape?
Yeah, there's so much blood in the snow. You guys just murdered the hell out of these guys.
Tempus is like a virgin trying to hide after her first time on white satin sheets. It ain't gonna work.
Wow, Katir. You're not wrong, but...
What is a sheet?
I'll show you the luxury back in camp or back in the city. Never mind. Let's just go in and find what's inside the bleeding cave, please.
Take point and lead us to the cave.
You approach the illuminated entrance to this cave. Please make perception checks.
I am hyper paranoid this game.
That's a good thing.
Katia and Yaereene, you hear a soft grumble and whining sound coming from the left of the cave as you approach.
Is it in any language?
No language.
I think Miri will spend her terrible perception roll as still being too distracted by what the frick, Katira.
Oh, you do love blaming stuff on me, don't you, dear? All right. I start sidling into the cave on the right side, trying to angle and keep an eye on the left until it finally is revealed what's inside making the noise.
It's not inside the cave, it's just outside the cave on the left.
Oh, that's right. You had something on its side to the left of the guards.
Yeah, and you can see that snow and rocks and twigs have been piled up around a baby orc.
Oh, Tempus, can you identify anything on this little beast?
I'll scoop it up. I'm assuming it doesn't have any kind of piercings, tattoos, or tribal marks at this young state in its life.
No, it is quite young.
Mine now. I'm going to be going at the back of the party now. Somebody else is leading us into the cave.
Why is a baby here?
Because they are flesh takers. They might have been going to eat it soon.
Can we see the mother anywhere?
No, you don't see the mother anywhere.
They may not be trying to eat it. They may have taken it from another tribe and are trying to make it into their tribe. It's an infant. It doesn't know better.
I am not leaving an infant around when there are flesh takers nearby. It is just
Oh, no. If you were, I'd
Agreed.
slap you upside the head.
mine now. I will take the back. Would someone else lead us into the cave?
I can.
Do you need help bundling it up so that you can use your hands, Tempus?
Yaerene's going to the front. I'm going up.
I'll help accept Ysmyr's hand with assembling a quick baby Bjorn.
Okay, give me a survival check, I guess, for making this baby Bjorn.
Advantage with help?
Yeah, do I get advantage from her help? And basically, I'm just using my shirt
Sure.
to make a sarong.
Wouldn't it be athletics?
athletics to make a baby Bjorn?
I feel like wisdom should be involved as well somehow.
Yeah, you gotta do all that muscular stuff, moving around, tying it, knotting it.
Okay. We'll just go with survival.
Actually, Mary would probably have some experience handling making a baby sling.
I've already helped.
It's fine.
That's awesome. Like, that's what I was picturing, which is why Ysmyr was like, do you want help?
So, Tempus, you have this sling that's holding the baby comfortably, not by its leg dangling upside down. So, what order is the party marching into this cave? It is a 10-foot wide cave, and you can see that it goes on for a while.
Yaereene first.
I'd like to take second.
Mary's gonna hang back to Tempus because her healing expertise is likely to be more helpful with the baby.
So Yaereene, Katiera.
Miri and then Tempus. I'm not sure which one should be in the back.
And Tempus said he's going last.
I'd rather have somebody else in the back spot, just in case we do get bushwhacked while we're dealing.
I'll let Miri go behind me. She's got better AC. She's better perception. Our battle turtle can be at the back.
Yep,
Maybe call you Battle Turtle from now on?
sure.
Only if you let everybody in the party call you war leader.
Well, that'd be weird because Ysmyr is.
This is a weird setup from the go. Yaereene, me? I mean, what?
Fair enough. Okay, I think we've established our order.
Yes. I have
It's
Yaereene.
faster than getting out of town.
Yeah. So you guys start to make your way into this rough stone tunnel, and as you approach, you see that it opens up into a very large circular chamber, and there is a bright light emanating from the middle of the room. And around the room, near the middle, you see that there are 5 charred skeletons lying on the floor. And you can see a chest to the left near the wall. And I think that's about all you can see right now.
Can I tell what race the skeletons were of?
Give me a medicine check.
And this is just Yaereene at the front of the group seeing this? Or
Yeah, she's seeing it as she comes up to the edge of the room. And Yaereene, you're fairly certain they're orc skeletons.
It looks like these might have been orcs. 5 dead orcs here.
they seem oddly interested in this place.
All
Do
right.
we want to take a look at the chest, or do we want to keep going?
I would say that we keep going because I think the chest is trapped, and that's why we're seeing the orc corpses.
Are the orcs near the chest?
Wait, we have a
The
possible.
corpses are nowhere near the chest. They're closer to the center of the room.
So they don't necessarily look connected.
Because I took the check traps.
We're looking for something, so we should check the room. Be careful, because I don't know why they're dead, and then go from there.
We don't know what's not in the chest. Mary, did you say you could check for traps?
Yes, a spell.
Ryan, how big is the cavern?
The room is about 120 feet across.
Do we want to check and see if there's a trap on this? And then, because what we're looking for might be in that chest already. They're clearly been here for a while.
So that would be 60 feet from where you are.
It's never that easy. Basically, Miri, you could cast this and see any traps in the room if they're in your line of sight.
In the half of the room she can see.
Ryan, is it all lit up or is it dark?
It is entirely illuminated.
So the full 120?
The full 120 is illuminated, yes.
Or are we just going and inspect it?
What's it illuminated by, Ryan?
You can't tell, but there is a pedestal in the middle of the room that is throwing light from inside of it that is radiating all around this room.
Ooh, can I go look at that?
Are the corpses all clustered around this stand?
They are fairly close to it, yes.
Okay, maybe I don't get quite as close.
All right, I'm going to cast that.
Right now, Yaereene, you're standing at the threshold of the room. How close would you like to get?
Miri, if you'd be willing to cast your Find Trap spell, both on the pedestal and on the chest, or looking around the whole room.
I can cast it on the room, but I want to get just inside the room so that I can see the whole room first.
Sounds good.
Everybody, walk distance.
I want to move and flank Miri so she isn't all by herself in the room.
In the back of the party.
The way I have it right now is Miri is standing beside Yaereene at the threshold of the room. Katiara is behind Yaereene. Ysmyr is behind Katiara. Tempus is at the back.
I thought we were in a narrow hallway and I was at the back of the entire party.
Well, you just said you were moving forward to cast Find Traps. It's a 10-foot wide hallway, so there is room for you to stand beside Yaereene if you want to.
Okay, then yeah, I'm going to move up next to Yaereene in the threshold, and as soon as I can see the whole room, I'm going to cast the Find Traps spell.
Okay, so you have to take a 5-foot step into the room to see the entire room, and you cast Find Traps, and you don't detect any traps.
Okay.
Can I move around the edge of the room over towards the chest?
Just give me 1 second here while I lay some stuff out. Okay, so Yaereene, you want to step into the room as well. I'm just going to get a marker out and draw a rough circle here.
So there's no actual traps, no alarm spells, no glyphs of warding. Can we identify the species of the skeletons?
We know they're orcs.
Yaereene, you step into the room. And let me just check a couple things here.
Scary that we're thinking about it at that stage, Ryan.
And you take 6 points of radiant damage as you step over the threshold.
I will back up.
Joke.
That hurts in there, guys.
I'd just like to point out that Miri is standing in the room and didn't have that experience.
Oh, Miri, why did that hurt me and not you?
Is it because she's a light cleric?
I am dedicated to Charol. I also have resistance to radiant damage, so...
We don't know if it's Charo, but if it's not hurting you, can you take a look around the room before the rest of us try it out?
Absolutely. So I will go wander through the room, see if I can get a closer look at... Did we identify what the skeletons were?
Yes, they're orcs.
They're orcs, okay. So the orcs were probably just killed by the radiant damage then, because they would not have...
Yeah, and there's a chest along the wall and the weird glowing thing in the middle of the room on a pedestal.
Can you see what it looks like? Is there something in that? Is there an emblem?
I'm gonna go investigate the pedestal first.
Okay. You walk forward and step by these charred orcs. You can give me a perception check quick.
You still have inspiration, bardic.
As you approach, you pass these skeletons, and you can see that their gear is all still intact. It's just the flesh burned off of their bones, and they're absolutely blackened.
Well, I am still going to investigate the contents of the room first, and then I might go take their gear.
Okay. So you're still going to the pedestal?
Yes.
Okay. You reach this pedestal, and the design of it has a familiar and comforting feeling to it. It's created out of a white marble that is etched and carved to look like a bowl of leaves on top of twisted branches that swirl together. And in a bowl-shaped depression in the top of the pedestal, you see a small 8-pointed star crystal that is shedding light around the room.
Like a dawn star?
I am thinking this is what we've come to retrieve, but I don't want to take it without asking permission. And so I am going to kneel in front of this and pray to Charo ask for permission to bring this with me to use in the fight against the undead.
Okay. You make your prayer, and there's no answer.
I'm going to reach in and touch the star, but I am not picking it up yet.
So, Miri, you touch the Daystar, and nothing happens.
All right. I touch it with more of my hand.
Nothing happens.
I'm sort of cautiously seeing if it'll let me pick it up.
You pick it up.
And I pull it up from the bowl.
Okay.
Does anything change when I lift it out from the bowl and bring it closer to my person?
Yes. As you pull the glowing crystal towards you, darkness engulfs the other half of the room.
Can I see anything in the darkness?
Nothing has changed, but yes, you can see through the magical darkness.
Can I?
Nope.
Specifically, only Ysmyr that's holding on to the ancestor's sword is the only one able to see past the magical darkness.
I have devil's sight, guys.
No, I'm asking this as a question.
I can't see in there.
Yeah, Ysmyr's the only one.
I think it's the sword that's doing
Okay.
it.
I'm going to test this and move the star around the edges of the bowl and see if the darkness moves.
Wherever you're standing with the glowing crystal on one side of the pedestal, the other side of the room becomes completely dark.
Miri, can you wait a second? Just make it so the dark's closer to us.
Yep.
And when the dark is kind of blocking the door, I'll take a step in.
You take 5 points of necrotic damage.
Okay, then I'll step back out. All right, still hurts.
Now, so the first damage was a flash of light and radiant, and the dark gave necrotic. Is that correct, Ryan?
That's correct.
She's a light cleric. Is there anyone else here devoted to the light in any way, shape, and form? Because I sure as hell ain't.
Nature for me.
I mean, in a way.
Well, do we want anything else from this place? Because it looks like this has to be the last thing I take.
Okay, well, you're the only one who can walk in there without getting hurt.
Which is why I'm asking if you want anything else out of the room.
Check
I
the
would
chest.
say you drop it back in its basket and you check the chest.
All right. So I set it down and I go see if the chest has anything interesting.
It's locked.
I figured that might be the case. I do not believe I have anything to unlock it with.
Is it within 60 feet of me?
Being across the room?
No, the chest, is it within 60 feet of me, Ryan?
Not quite.
Okay, I move in. If I move in the 5 feet, take the damage, am I in 60 feet?
You would have to move 10 feet to get within 60 feet of it.
All right, I move that, take the damage, and cast knock. It's unlocked. Is it a mundane or a magical lock?
Mundane.
Okay, so I do that. How much damage do I take? Do I take any?
You take 2 points of radiant damage.
And then I GTFO.
What do I find in the chest?
In the chest, you find 1,800 copper, 1,200 silver, 60 gold, a carved bone statuette, 3 cloth of gold vestments. One is small size and 2 are medium sized. A black velvet mask stitched with silver thread, a pair of engraved bone dice, and a silvered dagger with an onyx in the handle. And also, 2 red potions, a brown, silver, and gray layered potion, and a spell scroll.
Okay. How much effort is it going to take to move this to the doorway?
A fair bit for you.
If you shout out what's in there, I want to see the dagger.
Okay, I've already moved inside the room. How much further is the chest from me?
It's 60 feet from where you were when you cast the spell.
So the chest is 70 feet into the room.
Okay, so that's going to take a couple of rounds.
Yes, I will. Tempus, I'll hold it.
Tempus will give his the shirt bundle that contains the baby to Yaereene, and then he is going to enter into a rage and march into the room.
You take no damage.
What?
I back out.
Well, okay, I'm going over to the chest to grab it and start dragging that sucker over. I should reasonably be able to lift it.
Give me an athletics check at disadvantage. You are feeling a little bit strange in here, but you're not taking damage.
Did my rage end, or could I make it a straight roll because I raged as I entered the room?
Well, you would have double moved to the chest, but your rage would have ended before you started out of the room.
Fair enough. I rolled at disadvantage.
Hey, that's more than good enough. You drag the chest towards the door, and give me one more athletics check. No problem. You managed to get it out into the hallway.
That didn't hurt. Are you okay?
Surprisingly, it didn't. I entered into a rage in an effort to take half of any radiant damage, and I feel fine. It must detect my pure heart, and I'll collect the baby again.
I blink hard and look at Tempus.
I'm curious. I'm going to take a chance and step in.
Okay. Before you do that, Miri, where are you standing now?
By where the chest was, but I was about to go over to the bodies and collect their things.
Oh, never mind. You didn't have the crystal with you anyway, right?
No, I had put the crystal back where it had been.
Okay, so it didn't matter where you were standing. That's fine. Ysmyr, you step in. And you also take no damage, although you do feel a little bit overwhelmed by the sensation of the light.
I'm not evil, guys, just in case the light thinks I am.
Perhaps it has to do with your outlook on lawful versus chaotic in not out of game terms.
Okay, this is weird. I don't know what'll happen when you remove that, Miri, but I don't think any of us want to catch the dark.
Quite true.
Can I see anything if I go a little farther in the room that might hint at what's happening, Ryan?
How do you mean hint at what's happening?
I guess, like, if I look at the ceiling or anything, am I seeing runes that are like, hey, if you're good for you, or something like that, I guess?
Or is there any other exit from the room on the other side?
You don't see any other way out of this room. Ysmyr, you can give me... It's a very large room. I don't want to give you just one check for the entire room, but if you wanted to...
As long as it won't hurt me, I'll just do a circle, I guess, or something.
Okay. Make 4 perception checks at disadvantage.
Mary's gonna shrug it off and figure this has something to do with the fact that she spoke to Charo, and perhaps even though she didn't actually receive an answer, there was one, and she'll be allowed to take the Daystar, and the room is now open to those she considers her close friends.
So Kitira's not a close friend, hey?
Sorry?
You got hurt.
Well, ever since he went out with Tempus's mom.
I don't know.
Now, I took 2 damage when I stepped in to check it out. I've been laying back in the weeds, listening to y'all, and basically it sounds like we've got the chest back. I don't see... Miri is the only person that can touch the globe.
Nobody else has tried.
Ysmyr's in the room. She just hasn't tried.
I don't want to try.
Miri, do you think I should try? I'm just
That's up to
suspicious
you.
of... Yeah. I'm just thinking of the history lesson we had this morning and what I found out earlier. I'm wondering how things connect, I suppose.
Quite understandable. I would suggest that you try it with me by your side, ready to help if it does hurt you.
Sure. Yeah, I'll go up and see if I can touch the Daystar.
Sure. So first, from your wander around the room, the light of this thing is uncomfortable to the point that you didn't really get a very good look at anything as you wandered the perimeter. And as you come towards the center, The feeling doesn't intensify. It just feels the same. Like you feel this kind of nauseous feeling.
Yeah, it's not hurting me, but I feel a little sick. So I don't know.
Are you alright?
I'm all right. I don't know.
Nauseous?
Miri reaches into her pouch and pulls out a piece of crystallized ginger.
I'm sure when I leave the room, I'll be fine. I'm just very curious. I will try to touch it anyway, as long as it doesn't seem like there will be harm.
It's just a piece of candy.
You touch the Daystar and nothing happens.
All right. Well, Miri, here's what I'm worried about. You have the best bet of grabbing this and getting out of here, but when the darkness hits, I don't know if you'll be able to see your way out. I don't know, like it might light your way, but you're going to get hit from behind, so I'd like to just walk out with you.
Right, but I think I wanted to see if we could get the packs and things that are on these dead bodies, because while they were clearly destroyed by the radiance that is in here, their things were left untouched, and those might prove useful.
I mean, we could check their things before we take it. That's fine.
I was just going to grab their things, bring them back to the rest of the party, and cart them out to look at back up.
Each of the 5 orcs that are in here were wearing. Where does it say there? Oh, there it is. They're each wearing hide armor, and each has a great axe, a javelin, and pouches at their waists.
Okay, so they don't really have much going for them?
Doesn't look like it, no.
Miri, I don't think we need to worry about these guys. They just tried a little too hard.
You can give me an investigation roll.
If there's any cash in their pouches.
Yeah, Ysmyr, you'd have to roll it at disadvantage, but Miri could roll normally.
I'll try anyway. Never know if you get lucky. I mean, that's some kind of luck. Double 12s.
Just taking a quick look at the bodies, you notice that the great axes appear to be very well made. It's not what you have experienced in the past when you faced the Flesh Taker orcs. These appear well crafted.
So it's flesh takers who have them, but it's not typically what they carry.
Right.
I'll grab one and I guess drag it back and be like, anyone recognize where this could have come from? Doesn't look like what a flesh taker usually has. It's mostly a Tempus question, but...
You said it looks like elvenware?
No, it doesn't look elven. But the weapons of the Flesh Taker tribes tend to be worn and not particularly well crafted. They don't have any skilled craftsmen, but these look... this particular great axe that Ysmyr hauled out looks to be very well made.
Would I get anything from the history of Bardic?
Yeah, could any of us roll a history roll?
Yeah, you can roll a history roll.
And I'm dragging it over, so I'm just going to quickly say they're too well outfitted for flesh takers. I'm a little worried someone's kitting them out.
Or there's rival bands here.
Yes, either that or they may have plundered them from their previous owners.
Okay, Tiara, these are brand new axes that haven't seen battle at all, and they still have extremely sharp edges on them, and you notice that there are runes pressed into them that are orcish, runes. And let me just see what this one says. This axe has runes stamped into it that say Man Mincer in Orcish.
These are new and they're meant to kill, I would say, humans. The rune is Manmancer. I don't know if it's just talking about gender or it's talking about race, but these are not old. These are not ancient. Whoever made these and gave them to these bastards did it recently.
And they were clearly coming for the Daystar.
And if they're marked with orcish runes, that suggests that they didn't plunder them from anyone, that, as Ysmyr said, they were given to them.
Aye.
Damn. At least the Daystar fried them, but that means there's someone organized behind this.
Which means yet more trouble for Northgard, probably.
Likely.
We're at the cave. We found the artifact, apparently, that would indicate the return of Shiro. So at this point, I'm not sure if we want to return to the city with the artifact. Every time you try and move it, it throws up a cone of darkness. Is that right?
In the
We
room.
don't know if it's just in this room or not.
Have we found whether or not that we take damage now that one of our party is holding it?
Nobody's holding it right now. It's still in the pedestal.
All right. If everybody in the party wants to retreat a little bit down the hallway, stand way back. If Yaereene will take the baby from Tempus, he'll try grabbing the star and carrying it out.
Miri is perfectly willing to pick up the star and carry it out. She knows that she can pick up the star and carry it.
And Ysmyr can touch it and not get hurt.
Then in that case, I'll grab the chest. I'll carry it out with the baby.
Why don't you let me carry the baby while you take the chest?
Will you take the chest and I can keep the baby?
I don't know if I can carry the chest, but if I can, I will. I'm not very strong, though.
Let me do the weight on the loot.
If we disperse the goods in the chest, can everybody move normally?
If I take the dagger to replace my current one, yes.
Ryan?
I'm already encumbered.
Yeah, that's the issue. We've got some weak people in the party who are already encumbered or very close to encumbered. So I'm not sure if you'd be able to split it up to the point that everybody could carry some.
I think I should be able to take on a fair bit.
Chest will roughly be, I think, about 110 pounds, depending on the weight of the art items. So I can hack that, but it will leave me heavily encumbered. So yes, Yaereene, I'll give you the baby and carry the chest out.
Yeah, Katira, you have another 15 pounds that you can carry before you become encumbered.
And
I'll take the 15.
And like I said, Ysmyr will just swap her dagger with the silvered one.
Okay.
And if somebody else could take my backpack along with the baby.
I'm maxed, according to Ryan.
I'm already encumbered, so I don't know if that'll put me at heavily encumbered or not.
We also need to remember the chief is showing up, so we need to get our butts in gear or fight our way out of here again.
I'd like to get out.
It's okay. I'll leave 2 javelins behind and I can take the chest and move.
Okay, let's get out then.
Ysmyr, after she swaps the dagger, is going to hang back and wait for Miri to see what happens. And she's also going to grab one of those gold vestments to wrap the Daystar in.
Gold vestment.
I just need to clarify the order of action here. Tempus and Yaereene are leaving the cave. Ysmyr, where are you waiting for Miri?
After
We'll all go together. We'll just start out, but we're not gonna.
We're just saying what
wander
we're
off.
getting set up before Miri leaves the cave.
You're going to wrap the Daystar before you leave the cave.
Yes. And see what happens, I guess.
I would think it makes more sense for me to wrap it in something from my pack.
Go for it.
Well, I'm waiting for you to leave the room first, because that darkness did not look good and like something you want to wait to wrap things up with.
Yes, but if I pull a piece of cloth out of my pack, drop it on the Daystar while it's in the holder, and then scoop
darkness
the whole thing
ensues.
up.
I was hoping you could move the Daystar out of the room so that we could see if the darkness envelops it without you getting enveloped by the darkness, move backwards, and then we wrap it up. I'm trying to avoid you getting necrotic damage.
I resist necrotic as well as radiant.
Well, then go ahead, do what you want.
I mean, yeah, I'll back up, but I'm going to put a cloth over it. Probably something more like a handkerchief than some cloth of gold vestment. That would be too big. But yeah.
Are you coming out?
Yes, I'll back out.
So, Miri, I need to understand exactly what you're doing. Are you wrapping the Daystar in a cloth in the pedestal, like to take it out?
Not precisely wrapping it. Before I take it out, I will drop a handkerchief on it and then wait for a moment to see what happens.
The light from the Daystar does dim when you drop a cloth over it.
Okay, so it is reacting to that. I'm going to scoop it up, but I'm not going to completely encase it in the cloth.
Okay. So when it's in your hand, is it covered by the cloth at all, or is it loose in your hand? How are you transporting it?
The cloth is around it, but like one of the spikes is free.
Okay. So it gleams kind of like a flashlight when you hold it like that, and darkness overpowers the rest of the light, and you find yourself standing completely blind.
I open my hand so that the cloth falls away from it.
You take 6 necrotic damage, and then when you drop the cloth, the light again overpowers the darkness, but with the light in your hand away from the pedestal, the rest of the room is still covered in darkness.
Does that darkness traverse outside of the room?
You are between the tunnel and the pedestal right now, so no.
Okay.
Walk backwards to us, Miri.
All right. Also, that necrotic damage does get cut by the fact that I am resistant to it. I'm just not sure by how much.
Oh, resistance cuts damage in half.
So I take 3 damage.
Yep.
So that's done. Okay, don't cover it up. And I will back towards the others.
Okay. So you back towards the others. And where are the others at this point? Are you guys leaving the cave?
Ysmyr was waiting at the entrance for Miri.
I think everybody was waiting at the entrance.
Okay. Miri, as you bring this closer, the light touches your friends. And Tiara and Yaereene will take 2 radiant damage as Miri steps closer to you.
Ouch, that hurts.
Miri stops.
How close are you?
60 feet. Well, 55 feet.
Okay, we'll move away from her because that's ouchy.
Well, is there a corner for us to go around?
Nope.
We have to go outside the tunnel, and Miri, you're just gonna have to hurry out and cover it.
If I it hurts everyone.
Excuse me, I'm keeping myself and the baby well away from her.
Well,
Okay.
I'm currently carrying the baby, and yeah, I'm staying away from her. I'm blocking exposure with my body.
Thank you.
Ysmyr will body block too. She can take feeling sick.
Okay. So this
And
whole
And she'll toss that cloth of gold just in case Miri's way, so she could maybe pick it up and use it as extra cover once she's out of the room.
okay.
Can we reword that as the cloth of gold kind of lands over Miri's head?
These are nice hints, by the way.
The cloth lands wherever Miri needs it to land.
So it sort of drapes itself over her head and covers like much of the top of Miri's body. Did that cut out in the middle?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Okay. So we've got Tiara, Tempus, and Yaereene are keeping 60 feet away from Miri, so you guys get to the outside of this tunnel by the time Miri gets to the threshold of the large room. And Ysmyr, you're staying at the threshold of the room until Miri gets there?
Yeah, just to make sure things are okay.
Okay. Tiara, Tempus, and Yaereene, please make perception checks as you come out into the night.
I'm totally distracted by the baby I'm holding.
That's fair. You don't notice anything as you reach the outside of the cave.
And I think we
Be
just have to
careful.
wait for the cart.
There may be others out here waiting to ambush us coming out.
I think they'll be after Miri, not us.
They don't know squat about what happened.
Well, if they haven't been able to move it from there, they'll be guarding it, wanting to get it out. And now it could be.
So, Miri, when you reach the threshold of the room, backing up, you notice that the darkness follows you right up to the threshold of the room and then stops.
It stops?
Yes.
Then I'm going to try covering the Daystar again.
You cover the Daystar and the light is muted.
And can I
Okay.
see anything in the black room? Just to be doing like a did anything swap out kind of scan?
As you look into the dark room, how far is your devil's vision? Or what is it called?
120 feet.
Okay, so you can see clear across the room. Nothing has changed in there, but you get the sense that the darkness is emanating from the pedestal now.
Oh, when there's a light, there's usually dark. There's something in there, and I don't want others finding it.
So what do you propose we do? Drop the room in on itself?
Drop the room or go in there and see what the heck it is.
Ysmyr, I can't see anything in there. I have dark
I know.
vision. I can't see anything in there. Do you want me to try throwing a light spell in?
I mean, if you have the cantrip, sure.
Sure. And Miri will toss a light spell at the darkness in the room.
Nothing happens.
Well, that's clearly impenetrable.
Well, I don't...
I don't know if I have anything that can drop the room in on itself.
I don't either.
Flaming sphere?
More that if we have a Daystar here, we have some sort of night star in the middle there.
The best I can do is possibly set things on fire, but stone doesn't exactly burn very well.
No. I don't know, but if those ogre orc things are coming back, I don't know.
Did you want to go in and take a look? I think you're the only one that would be able to, but then
No,
again, walking into that darkness hurt you.
Yep. So the pedestal's 60 feet away?
Yes.
Dash in and take a look.
Okay. Are you going to dash to move 60 feet right to the middle of the room?
Yes.
I mean, I guess I could use, like, guiding bolt or something. Nope, that's a creature thing.
Okay. Ysmyr, you charge into the room, taking 6 points of necrotic damage as you enter, and you get to the pedestal and take a look in and see the twin of the Daystar in the bowl.
Crap. Can I bundle up, by the way, Miri, I probably look like I hurt.
She can't see you.
You get out here.
Can I, shoot, if I bundle up some fabric and touch that to the, like a piece of my shirt or something and touch that to the night star, what happens?
So first, at the start of the next round, you take 5 points of necrotic damage, and you quickly cover it up, and the darkness fades to regular darkness that you can see through with regular dark vision, and it no longer hurts you.
Okay.
So Miri can see again.
So, Miri, I probably look like I hurt a lot. A lot. Then I am going to very carefully get more fabric and like bundle this thing up to heck and carry it out. If that's dead stuff, Ysmyr's probably dead.
Okay, Tiara, does a 13 hit?
Oh, thank God. Don't do that. Mean.
Have we lost KTR?
I think we might have lost him again.
No, I'm here.
Oh my God. I was expecting the finger of death thing again.
I'm just aghast and just breathless at the events.
Okay, does a 13 hit your armor class?
Sorry, it does. It does hit me.
You take 4 points of piercing damage as a javelin comes flying out of the night at you. Next is Tempus, 24 hits.
Indeed.
So you take 7 points of damage. And Yaereene, a 10 misses, right?
It does.
Okay, so a javelin flies past you and clatters off the stone of the hallway behind you. And you guys can roll initiative. Miri and Ysmyr, you can hear the sounds of a javelin rattling down the hallway, just as Ysmyr picks up the dark twin of the Daystar.
I guess I'm gonna quickly throw it into my pack and
The dark
start
twin
running.
of the Daystar.
Well, she has it wrapped up at least.
Oh, nothing like a thin film to protect you from horrible radiation and death.
That's all she's got right now.
Miri and Ysmyr, can you guys roll me initiative as well, please?
Nice roll, Ysmyr.
Okay, Yaereene, you can see 3 orcs at the edge of the tree line that just threw javelins at you.
Okay. Is there anywhere for me to hide the baby behind me?
All that's behind you is the entrance to the tunnel.
Well, what happened?
Can I set it behind me, shielding it with my body?
Yes?
Okay, I'll do that. Do I still have the ability to draw, bow, and shoot, or am I preparing for next round?
I'll say it was a bonus action to lay down the baby, and so you can still take an action to draw and shoot.
Okay, I will shoot at whichever one looks nearest.
Oh.
So 9 damage if a 23 hits.
23 definitely hits, and yeah, you smoke this guy. He's still standing, but obviously not happy about that arrow.
I'm okay with his unhappiness.
And the next person up is Ysmyr. So yeah, Ysmyr, you're still at the pedestal, so you've got 120 feet to catch up with everybody else.
Okay. I'm really hurting, so I think since I'm in my pack anyway, I'm gonna break out. I'm gonna break out my greater potion of healing.
Okay.
Because I hurt a lot. And use that. And then can I still dash after that?
Using an object is an action, so you can do normal movement after that.
Okay, I need it, so I'll do that.
Okay. So then you are 90 feet away from the exit of the tunnel.
That'll be it, I guess.
Okay. Next up is Miri. Miri, you are 60 feet away from the front.
I am going to dash.
Okay. That gets you up behind Kechiara. So that takes your
On the
action.
ground.
Sorry?
Do I see the baby on the ground?
Yep, that's why you're behind Kechiara, because the baby.
I am scooping
is
up the
behind
baby.
Yaereene. Sorry?
May I scoop up the baby as a bonus action?
Sure.
Okay.
So next up. Oh, I missed one of them. That's okay. The one in front of. Let's see, that's the first one. Tempus gets in range and swings a great axe at him. Tempus, a 19 hits.
Yep.
And you take 8 points of slashing damage. Next up is the other two orcs get to go first. Yaereene, a 23 hits.
That it does.
You take 7 slashing damage. And Kechiara, 19 hits. And you take 5 points of slashing damage. And that's it for their turns. Tempus, you're up next.
Bonus action, I'll use my last rage of the day. I will take a step so that I am between the two ranged attackers and Yaereene, so I'm effectively shielding her, and I will attempt to hit the guy who's in combat with me with the Morning Star.
Unfortunately, a 12 misses.
Okay, that's my turn.
Okay, and last but certainly not least is Kechiara. Kechiara, you still with us?
It sounded like he was going down earlier.
Yeah, it sure did.
Did we lose him right at battle again?
He fell asleep again. I wish there was a way to poke him.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he took the first bit of damage, but not the second. So I'll do that for him. And Yaereene, how are you looking?
I'm at about half.
So is he. Tempus, how are you?
For health, I'm fine.
Would Tempus say anything else under any circumstances?
No.
Didn't think so.
He's got a baby to protect now, though. He can't go down.
Good
Will
point.
be much more inspired by my glorious death.
Yaereene, you get 12 hit points back.
Thank you. That is wonderful.
Yeah, that was a nice cast. So back to the top of the order, Yaereene, you're up. You've got an orc in your face, and yeah.
Can I shoot point blank, or do I need to? And I thought,
Shooting with a ranged weapon in melee combat is at disadvantage.
okay. So I will switch to my short swords. And does that take an action, or am I allowed to do that?
You get one weapon for free, and then if you draw a second weapon, then it does take your action.
Okay, I'll draw one this turn. And I can draw a second one next turn, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so as a bonus action, I will cast Hunter's Mark on the guy right in front of us.
Okay.
And then I will attack him with my sword. And he has been injured, correct?
He has.
Oh, but I'm not going to hurt him.
Nope, that's a miss. Anything else on your turn?
Nope. I am still keeping my body between where I placed the baby. And yeah, I'm good.
Sounds good. Next up is Ysmyr. You are 90 feet away from the action.
Okay, can I see the action?
90 feet, yep.
Okay. First thing I'm gonna do. So who's the closest orc? It's the guy at Yaereene?
The only one that you can see is the one in front of Yaereene. The other two are kind of off to the side of the opening of the tunnel.
Okay. I'm going to Eldritch Blast him. The
Okay.
range is 120 feet. So.
Yep, and he has partial cover.
Okay. Oh, I should ask, can I draw my sword as a bonus action?
You can draw one weapon for free.
Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Well, that's a hit. And you're targeting, the one in front of Yaereene, so that's another 5 damage. He's looking in a pretty rough shape there.
Okay, then I'll run closer. So I'm at, I guess, my 30 feet. So I'll be 60 feet away.
Sounds good. Now the orc that is facing Tempus gets to go. And swing and a miss. And that's all that it's doing for its turn. So next up is Miri.
Sacred Flame at whatever's close.
Okay, you can see all 3 of them, and 2 of them are close. There's one in front of Yaereene and one in front of Yaereene.
Which one looks more injured?
The one in front of Yaereene.
I'll hit him then.
Okay. And he makes a save, so he's still up.
Well,
Anything else on your turn, Miri?
besides letting Yaereene know that I have the baby. Oh, I will step back 5 feet.
Okay. Next up are the other 2 orcs. Yaereene, a 12 doesn't hit, does it?
No, it's not.
KTR gets hit, though. He's getting pretty lucky with those little rolls on the D12s, but he's pretty hurting right now. But that's it for the orcs. So now it's Tempus's turn.
The guy that I'm encountering, Morningstar.
Swing and a miss again.
Well, that's frustrating, but okay, so just for my own reference, there's now 2 orcs in melee with the group?
3.
Okay. With the baby having been safely evacuated, can I use my bonus action to drop the shield and Morningstar and take out my halberd?
You can do that without even having to use a bonus action, yeah.
Okay, that's my turn.
Alrighty. Next up is KTR. He's going to cast Cure Wounds on himself.
I think that's a good call.
Well, that was a nice heal. So he's fine, mostly. And that's all he's going to do on his turn. And back to the top of the order for Yaereene.
She's going to draw her other sword and attack with both.
Okay.
So the guy right in front of me.
And he goes down.
Okay, as a bonus action, I'll transfer my hunter's mark to the other guy. The nearest, you said there was another 2 more right in melee?
Yeah, there's one on your left, one on your right. They're both the same distance away. So it's
Which one's closer to Tempus?
the one on the left.
I'll take the one on the right.
Okay.
Can I use my second attack on him?
No, because that takes a bonus action, and you just used it for the hunter's mark.
I thought I had... Okay, I didn't realize that second attack took a bonus action.
Yeah, if you look at your actions
Yeah,
tab.
I see it now.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So you step forward and are beside the orc with Keitiara. Next up is Ysmyr. You are 60 feet away and can't see anybody now.
Okay, then... Sorry, dash means I use all my actions to add to my movement, right?
That's right.
I'm going to run 30 feet, and will I be able to see someone?
No.
Then I'll dash until I can see someone.
Okay. Yeah, you get to the mouth of the tunnel, and you can see both orcs now. You are only 5 feet. You're only 5 feet away from each orc.
I'm going to cast Hex on one of them then.
Okay. The one that Tempus is fighting, or the one that Yaereene and Keitiara are on?
I'll do the Tempest one.
Okay.
And I'm going to give him disadvantage to Dex checks.
Okay. Next up is the orc that Tempus is fighting.
I just put that up so we had it.
Tempus, an 18 hits, right?
But of course.
You take Well, that's halved because you're in a rage, so 2 slashing damage.
Noted.
And that's all he's doing for his turn. Now it is Miri's turn.
Sacred Flame, I guess.
But which orc? The one that Tempus is fighting, or Yaereene?
The one Yaerene's fighting, because there are now 2 people fighting the one that was in front of Tempus. Yaereene needs backup.
There's 2 on both.
Yes,
And
but Katira's asleep.
There. Just so you know, I gave the one fighting Tempus disadvantage on dex saves.
Oh, so that should have gone on the one that Tempus is fighting.
He failed anyway. It's all good.
So yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like it's all good. I'm just, since it's my first time doing it in conjunction with what you can do, I'm just saying I can do this for you now.
Okay. I wasn't paying attention to what the spell does.
All good.
I appreciate the thought, though.
It hit. That's what matters.
Oh, God.
Oh no, that's a nat 20.
What were you doing with that, by the way?
KTR gets smashed for 15 points.
How's he looking?
Ouch. He's not down, but he's severely injured.
Well, thank goodness that orcs don't get the same half-orc thing that lets them add an extra dice for criticals.
Oh god.
Yeah, that would have really, really sucked.
It's a good thing we have another healer.
Yeah.
And potions.
So now it's Tempus's turn.
Halberd strike on the guy in my face. Actually, let's make this a reckless attack.
So 10 damage, and ouch, but he's still up.
Then bonus action, second attack on him. Also reckless.
And down he goes.
Oh good. One left.
You just needed your halberd in your hand and then just decimated him.
You felt better about everything as soon as that happened.
Yeah.
And it's KTR's turn. KTR, are you awake? Cure wounds on himself.
I think that's a really good call.
This is becoming a very good t-shirt. Kitiara, you awake? Cure wounds on self.
Yeah.
Well, you did one on me too, which I appreciated greatly.
Katiara, can we donate your share of the loot to the Baby Orcs College Fund? Say no if you disagree.
Well, there you go. The orc is going to college. Okay. So back up to the top of the order, we've got Yaereene.
I'm going to attack.
That's a hit. And yes, he has taken damage, so the Colossus counts, and he goes down.
Oh, I didn't even get to do my hunter's mark on him. Can he go down extra hard?
Sure.
Thank you.
Lol.
Do I see or hear any more around?
So, with all of the orcs down, what are you guys going to do?
Go retrieve the cart and start heading back towards Nordgard.
I think getting out of dodge is important.
Yes.
I just want to look around and make sure there's no one who is watching or waiting.
Perception check.
I'd also like to toss one in if I may.
Yeah, as well.
Take a guidance.
Perception is not my friend today.
Still distracted by cute baby.
Itaha. We need to name him.
I like it. Edaha it is.
Okay, you guys don't see anything.
Okay, well, I would like to tuck the baby into the cart.
Do we make it back to the cart?
Yeah, I've got the chest, and if everybody's... I don't think we're looting bodies. I think we're running.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't think we're worried about the bodies. We got what we came for, plus more.
And a baby.
And a baby. I think we should go give the baby to Harris to look after, because that way we'll know the baby's safe.
We'll worry about that later. Right now, we just got to get out of this forest.
Yes.
Okay, you guys get back to the cart, no problem.
And then we continue moving.
Yeah, even if it's late, I think we should make some tracks if we can.
Okay.
Yep, get at least to the forest on the other side of the lake and find a good spot for camp.
Sounds good. You guys make your way across the lake. Everybody give me Constitution saving throws, please.
Dang. Of course it's us, Miri. We're the ones holding the weird stuff.
Miri and Ysmyr, you have 1 level of exhaustion as you get to the other side of the lake.
I'm not sure I want to make camp. I kind of want to throw the 2 of you in a cart and keep moving.
I think we need to move on quickly. There are flesh takers in the area.
You have a point.
Okay. If someone else wants to drive, I'll take a rest.
I'd like to scout for us.
I can
So
hold the
who's driving?
baby.
Good.
I can hold the baby in the cart.
One of us can.
We can switch off holding the baby in the cart.
And KTR will drive.
Okay.
And you're going to watch our back?
Your mule is also exhausted.
Oh no.
I don't know how to. The mule's just been sitting there. How come he's so tired?
Traveled all day?
Oh, yeah, that. Fair enough.
Scared to make a noise?
I'll just gently mutter in his ear, keep moving or I'm going to eat you.
Keeps moving.
Don't be mean to Chewy.
Tough love.
So as you guys are at the shore of the lake, you hear a deep horn sound ring out from behind you.
Yeah, we gotta keep moving. Poor Chewy.
Yeah, go fast, no lights. Watch out for goblins.
We could split the party. I could lay a false trail and lead them off.
No.
That's a bad idea. Let's just get the heck out of here. We need to get this little one to safety.
Survival check, please.
Everybody, or is this for leading the wagon?
This is for leading the wagon.
Could I have assistance, please? Oh, I can't because he's behind. Yep, never mind. That's not as good.
Well, you're certainly welcome to guidance.
Do I have your guidance, Miri?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good thing.
It is.
You continue running through the dark, finding paths between the shadowy trees, and you hear the peal of the horn again from behind you, and it's answered by another to the east and another to the west. And Chewy is running for all he's worth.
That's good. So are we. This is not good.
It's our turn to run.
Can I start casting light in various directions to mislead?
You have a distance. It'll all be too close to us, Miri. But I appreciate the thought.
You run through the snow for an hour. Sorry, Tempus, you rolled your own survival check. What was that for?
I'm sorry, when you called for survival, I just assumed that everyone was rolling one. If you want to apply it to something, occluding our trail, helping guide us, whatever you like.
We'll say that you're covering up the tracks as best you can at a fast pace.
Yaerene's leading the way.
And everybody, please make exhaustion checks.
That's a constitution save.
Constitution save.
Much better.
Somewhat better.
Miri and Ysmyr, you guys are in the cart, right?
And Katir is driving in the cart.
Okay. Well, driving is still an action that he's taking, so he'll have to make a check. But the Ysmyr and Miri, as long as you guys are resting in the cart, you don't have to make checks because you're not hurting yourselves.
We're saving up just in case. And we can swap out with people if needed.
Okay. I gotta check the mule.
Go, Chewy.
Chewy succeeds.
Yay! Chewy, you're carrying a Death Star. You better do well. That's what the thing in my bag is. It's a Death Star.
I like that name.
As I have the Daystar in my pocket.
Okay, are we running until it seems safe to rest, or are we like full bore back to town?
We'll let you know whenever a situation comes up where it might be safe to rest.
Sounds good.
Okay. So Chewy, through a mighty effort, continues to run the cart along through the night. Yaereene, please make a survival check to find your way.
Oh, may I have guidance, Miri?
Absolutely.
Thank you muchly.
I will help, so she can roll at advantage.
Is that okay from behind, Ryan?
If Tempus is coming up front to help, that's fine.
I'd rather he stayed and hit our tracks.
Okay, I'll roll my own.
Nice.
Yaereene, yeah, you managed to find a nice clear path for a good chunk of the way, avoiding any kind of tricky terrain. Tempus, you know that you're not getting everything. It's really hard to replicate fresh fallen snow and cover tracks, but you're hoping that in the dark they might not notice. And as you continue to run for another hour, you still hear horns braying behind you. Yeah. Constitution saves DC 13 now.
Is guidance something that can be used for that?
I think you need bless.
Okie dokie.
You could use your inspiration if you chose.
I think I'll wait till next time for that one.
I do have bless.
But bless only lasts for a minute, so.
Yeah, it's not really...
For the moment.
It's not really used for like an hour-long event.
Dash, yeah.
Bless is a battle thing, but I was trying to give it's for saving throws, basically.
That's all right. We had to have an off one sooner or later. I'm assuming I add level 1 of exhaustion.
Yes, you are level 1 exhausted. So is Katiara, so is Tempus.
So I'm trying to figure out what happens at level 1 exhaustion.
You get
Disadvantage. I see
disadvantage
now.
on checks. So it's going to make survival checks more difficult.
We're probably really going to want to hide, guys.
If we can find a hidden elf encampment, we might be able to draw the both of them into a fight with each other.
I think they're friends. I don't think there's elves out here, are there?
There are hidden fortresses of elves. Somewhere in the areas, I don't know where, but they like hunting orcs.
I'll keep my eyes out. So Ryan, can I keep watch for that while I'm trying to find a good path?
Yes.
Actually, do we want to pause for a minute and I can see if I can sense any elves? Well, I can't tell what race. Never mind.
Yeah.
Can't tell if they're good guys or bad guys.
Nope. At this point, Chewie is really flagging and moving at half his normal speed.
Okay, then I am going to take a minute to pause to see what's around within 5 miles of us.
Okay.
What groups of humanoids and how big are they?
We can ditch the treasure. It would lighten the load and maybe slow down our pursuers.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure that's really a good idea.
Yaereene, you... how long does it take to do the primeval hornet?
1 interrupted minute.
So you open up your senses, and there are hundreds of humanoids behind you. And they are probably an hour back.
What's in front of us?
In front of you and to the west, you sense more humanoid beings in large numbers. There's a good 150 to the southwest.
Would that be in the same area that we detected the goblin tribe that we skirted originally?
No, they were to the north on the coast of the lake.
So southeast-ish is
West is where
is
this.
right, but if we head east-ish or southeast-ish, I can't say southeast-ish. Is there anything? Basically, I'm looking for a path that doesn't have lots of humanoids.
Gotcha. Yeah, you could travel southeast. No, doesn't have anything that you detect.
We have to remember, poor Chewie's tired, and we're getting tired.
Yeah, I'm just letting you guys know where there are hundreds of things. Ryan, could you post the map of the area again? I'm scrolling up, but I'm having trouble finding it.
No problem.
Thank you.
So you've traveled 3 hours since the shore of the lake, and you know it was an 8-hour journey, or 7.5 hour journey across from the bend in the river to the Daystar Lake.
So we're in that little skinny bit nearer to Daystar Lake than the bend.
Yeah.
Okay. And so southeast is just kind of following the river, actually.
No, that would be going towards that other smaller lake, because you're kind of traveling south from the island that you see in Daystar Lake.
Okay. Yep.
So if you turned southeast, you'd be going towards kind of the western part of that smaller lake.
Okay. Let you guys know, and I can keep an eye out for somewhere to hide, but what do you want us to be doing right now? Chewie's getting exhausted. And I let them know where all the hundreds of things, and they're about an hour behind us right now. The ones with the horns and the chasing us bits.
Well, we're all getting exhausted. If we can make for the other lake bit, and there was an island there.
That's not going to help.
That's hours away from us.
It's too many hours away.
How far away was that group of humanoids?
The one behind us is about an hour. How about the one to the southwest, Ryan?
That's at the full 5 miles, so it would take you, I forget how long, an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that.
Do you want to head towards them, hoping they're friendly, or away from them, afraid they're not?
Well, I'm wondering if it's worth heading near them so that whatever's chasing us goes that way.
Okay, I can steer us in that direction if you guys all agree.
Yeah, I'm down.
And that is us.
Yeah, because we don't know if what's ahead of us is friendly or not, but maybe they don't like the ones behind us because their horns haven't gone off.
If we can maybe find a place to hide in between the two of them, just their presence might give the other ones pause.
Okay, we will head there. I will start leading in that direction, also keeping an eye out for A, signs of who the people we're heading towards might be, and B, hiding spots.
Give me a survival check at disadvantage for finding a clear path.
How do I do disadvantage?
Control.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Yeah, Yaereene.
Yeah, you find a clear path, and so you start heading towards the other group. Give me another survival check at disadvantage.
You want checks from me behind us again, or?
Yes. And if you're exhausted too, right? So that would also be at disadvantage. Yeah, so neither of you are picking up any... well, Yaereene, you're not picking up any tracks from anybody in the area, but you are finding a pretty clear path through the woods. The cart is bouncing along behind at half the speed that Chewie normally travels. So the others are starting to catch up a little bit now. Right. And what other checks do I need you guys to make? Survival. I think.
Con saves to continue on?
Yeah.
Well, if we make it another hour, right?
Yeah, you guys make it another hour.
Woohoo!
And you can hear the horns closing in from behind. And the con save is now a DC 14.
I am going to use my inspiration,
Okay.
Will I?
and I didn't need it.
I guess we're still in the cart, hey?
Even using my inspiration, I failed.
Okay, so Tempus, you're starting to slow down as well.
Tempus, if you need to be in the cart, please be in the cart.
I can start walking.
Tempus, what is your normal travel speed?
Normally I'm at 30 feet. Assuming I've been able to put the chest in the cart, I'm able to still move at 30 feet, now down to 15.
Okay, that's what I wanted to check. So you are going slower than Chewie now, who's traveling at 20.
I get KTR to use his long strider loot to give me a boost to that.
KTR is driving.
I can drive.
Yeah, swap
I
Ysmyr.
can drive or I can walk.
No, swap Ysmyr out with KTR, and then KTR can give me a speed boost.
KTR is also at level 2 exhausted.
Is he able to do the long strider boost or no?
Well, if he's walking now...
If he's sitting at
No, he's just sitting in the cart playing a lute.
How many people are in the cart right now?
3.
Ysmyr's driving.
Okay, there isn't room for 3 people and all your stuff. You can fit 2 people back there.
So it's KTR, Miri sitting in the back, Ysmyr up at the front. Is that allowed?
Yep.
Okay, so with Ysmyr driving, KTR can sit hanging off the back with Miri crouched inside the cart, and KTR can give me a speed boost so that I can keep moving.
Yeah, even with disadvantage, KTR is able to give you the 10-foot speed boost, so you are able to keep up with Chewie as he continues along. So now, Yaereene, please give me a survival check at disadvantage.
Yeah, that had to happen sooner or later.
Guidance?
yes.
I keep milking the guidance for everything they're worth.
Well, yeah. I'm always throwing guidance at you because that's my job.
I'm meaning I've been really lucky on what I'm rolling on them.
So you do manage to find some rather tight fits for the cart. There's some bumpy terrain that slows you down a bit, but you're not stopped completely. You don't have to do any backtracking or anything like that. And you can give me another survival check at disadvantage to look for tracks.
From the cart, can I help? I
Nope,
can
you're
see the
just
dark.
driving.
Could I get another guidance on that or no?
Absolutely.
Ryan, or is that all a part of the same?
That's fine. You do see goblin tracks in this area.
Guys, it looks like more goblins. Just what we wanted to hear.
They might be friendly.
Well, maybe you could bully them.
Sorry, what was that, Miri?
Or maybe you could bully them.
Yep, that is the default setting, yeah.
Tempus, are you continuing to do survival checks to try to hide tracks and stuff?
If you'd like them, yeah, here comes at disadvantage.
All right. So you guys continue on, and Yaereene, you find these tracks. So what are you going to do about that?
I tell everybody, do we still want to keep heading towards them?
Do we have a better choice?
We can try and hide the cart, but okay, how about this? How
How about we hide the cart, and then I will go on ahead towards the goblins. If I can determine that they're friendly, I might be able to bring them to relief, and maybe you guys can hide away from the flesh takers.
Have we seen, like, I've been looking for any place to hide. Have I seen any place to hide?
That would require another survival check.
Okay, I had mentioned that I was doing that while I was looking for tracks as well, so I'll do another one right now.
I'll come up to the front, and I will help her so that she can roll a straight roll.
Miri, could I have guidance?
Absolutely.
Oh,
You were supposed to have advantage with that, weren't you?
That is with advantage.
Oh, right. Never mind.
that just offset the disadvantage.
You find a spot with some tree cover by a cliff. You're not 100% sure that it would be a perfect hiding spot for everybody, but it's the best that you've seen.
Well, that's better than that.
How far behind us do you think people feel? I know they're getting closer because I know we're moving slower.
Yes, they're within about 20 minutes.
Guys, do we want to keep... They're going to find us in the next hour. They'll catch up. So do you want to hide here? Do you want to travel for another 15 minutes and keep looking?
Well, how close are the goblins?
How much have we traveled so far, Ryan? Since
It's been 2 hours since you did your check at reduced speed. So you're probably looking at about another hour to get to the goblins ahead of you.
Okay, I conveyed that.
We're not going to make it.
Nope.
Unless we can somehow make it look like we went past this hiding spot towards the goblins.
The only thought is, can we find a better spot? This one is here, but isn't wonderful, but it's not horrid.
I will take the cart and go on alone, and create a false trail for them to follow. The rest of you can hide here.
Well, we should lighten the cart.
Oh yeah, keep all the treasure and stuff, but if it's just me and the cart, they'll follow me and ignore your trail.
Possibly, possibly not.
I can think of no better time for me to find my destiny than taking the flesh takers away from you all.
As much as I don't like it, I think it might be best to set up a camp here and rest.
Not a camp. We are going to hide.
That's what I meant.
There is no resting.
Hide and camp. Even if the only one who does much resting is this little one, who is probably asleep on her brow.
Yep.
War leader, when I first came to the city, you gave me shelter and purpose. I will bow to your wisdom. Let me go forward and travel on with the cart. I can set a path. Will you allow it?
I don't like this. I can't think of anything better. Other than get the path going, and we might have to let our dear Chewie just find his own way. Can you kind of backtrack?
I'm sorry for Chewie, but I'd rather sacrifice him than you.
But if they find only the cart with just the lone mule, that will not assuage them. They will circle around and try to find us.
You were going to go and try speaking with the goblins to see if we could get them to help us. Take the cart, lead a false trail, get the goblins, and bring them back.
That is my plan, yes.
That sounds like the best plan we've got.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
And we don't have the time to.
I can be ready to protect the rest of us here, but I can't think of a way to escape otherwise.
I don't think we have any more time to argue. Give me your blessing, war leader.
All right, but I hope you come back.
Be as safe as you can.
Thank you all. And with that, I'll pitch everything out of the cart, and I will mount up with my war mule, and we're going off for the goblins while everybody else tries to find a place to hide.
I will get us to the place to hide, and then I will cover tracks as much as possible.
Okay, here we go.
And we're doing our best to tuck the all of our things, including the treasure, in there with us.
And you said we're by a cliff? Sorry?
Yes, there's a cliff that you'll be nestled up against with trees in front of it.
Okay. Can we be on the other side of the trees? Like,
The other side of the trees is towards where you are right now.
It's not a great hiding spot, but it's the best we've got.
no, I'm just saying we're about hiding behind the trees along the cliff edge. Is that what we're doing?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was making sure. And yeah, if I can, I'll help too. Help make our hiding spot the best it can be too.
Okay, everybody please make Constitution saving throws. DC 14. Or was it 14 last time?
It was 14 last time.
Okay, DC 15 this time.
I am level 2.
Okay, Katiara is currently level 3 exhausted. Chewy is level 4 exhausted.
Chewy's about to die.
Level 6 is death.
Close enough.
And what are the rest of you at for exhaustion levels?
One.
With 2.
Okay, so Miri and Ysmyr, you guys are at half movement speed, kind of dragging your butts as you try to help out with hiding in this hiding spot. Katiara is pretty useless as well. So Yaereene, if people are helping you hide tracks, you're going to roll it as a flat score.
I'll help.
Thanks. Survival, right?
Yep.
Got guidance?
Could I have guidance, please?
Absolutely.
Do you have DM inspiration still?
No, I used that to fail my inspiration check that I failed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ysmyr, do you have an inspiration?
I did great.
And I do.
Ooh.
Yeah. Also, I have a cloak that might help with a little bit of hiding.
Okay. So Yaereene, you do an absolutely phenomenal job of
I
hiding.
didn't even give you the guidance on top of that.
Well, you might. Well, I don't know if they'll have anybody
There.
in
I
track.
gave it. There, it's
You
27.
can have the guidance whenever you want. It's a cantrip.
Okay. So you do an amazing job of smoothing out the snow and hiding your tracks. And I'm going to need stealth checks to actually hide yourselves from view.
Ysmyr has her hood up. Would draping her cloak over someone else help hide them?
I would say that you can get one more person under your cloak with you.
Miri, please, since she's got disadvantage.
Well,
Oh,
Miri can also get out of her armor so that she's not rolling at disadvantage.
Oh, that would be helpful.
who's hiding with me?
Miri or Katiara, whichever one is less dexterous.
Miri, are you removing your armor or keeping it on? Because that'll change your roll.
Yeah.
I can take my armor off.
We'd like that.
I'm going to make an executive decision that KTR is going to use his DM inspiration to hide.
Cool. Can we have guidance, or because it's a long-term thing? No?
I'll allow it.
And I think this is important. I'm going to use my inspiration on top of advantage just to be safe. And I'm helping Miri, right?
Yes, please.
So Miri, you also, I believe, have advantage.
Oh, with a 15 for taking it off.
And that is why I am using my inspiration. What is that? D6? D8?
Mine's 19 total.
Using DM inspiration allows you to roll at advantage.
So it wouldn't have done anything, hey?
No, you'd still have the 11.
So does it count that I used it then? Or
Well, you rolled without using it, so I'd say that you can still keep it.
okay.
Yaereene, you've got a 19 stealth.
Yes, thank you.
Miri,
This is tense.
Miri, I see 15 for you. Did you roll guidance?
Getting help.
No, I didn't roll.
Oh,
I
right,
just-
right.
Miri, did you give me
Oh.
guidance?
She said she'd give it to everyone.
Oh, hold on.
Hold on. Because if you guys are hiding together, helping each other hide, then you shouldn't have rolled that at... Oh, you rolled it at advantage. Okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah, you've got 11 plus guidance.
Miri didn't roll at advantage, though. Miri just rolled flat.
I got a 12.
So can Miri roll a second time for advantage?
Miri can add guidance to her roll because it was more Ysmyr hiding them together if they were going to
Gotcha.
get advantage.
Well, yeah, I was asking because Ysmyr has her
Oh,
cloak.
there's my guidance on myself.
So you're at 19 with me.
Ysmyr's at 12.
Yep. KTR's at 20. Yaerene's at 19. Tempus.
Miri's at 19.
Don't suppose a group can win, hey?
Tempus. You continue driving Chewy towards the unknown goblins. Please make a survival check.
And by that, he means please make the survival check.
You manage to find space through some fairly dense forest, heading in that direction. You can hear the horns sounding behind you. Make an insight check, please, at disadvantage. Through the tiredness that's assaulting your brain, you notice that you're hearing the horns from behind, but you're not hearing answering horns from ahead.
I'll grin savagely, and reaching behind me in the wagon, I am going to pull out a torch, and while jostling around on the wagon, I'm going to try and light that torch.
Okay, yeah, you can do that, no problem.
Got a torch in my hand as I continue to drive.
Give me a perception check at disadvantage, please. Okay, you continue to ride ahead, and you can hear the sounds of hurried feet running up behind you. The rest of the party, you're hiding behind the trees, and you see swarms of goblins and orcs following the cart path, and none of them even slow as they pass where you covered your tracks. None of them see you as they charge past, and their attention seems to be fully focused ahead, and you hear the rattling of the horns as the orcs run along with the goblins blasting away, and Katiara can hear the orcs saying, "A torch! A torch!" as they all continue to run past you in wave after wave. And the quiet as they finish running by is unnerving. The goblins and orcs have passed.
No one move.
Tempus, Chewie is not doing well at all. But he keeps moving, as you say you'll eat him if he stops. And he plods along, wild with fear. And you're not 100% sure if it's from you or from the sounds of your pursuers closing in behind.
Can I see them at this point behind us?
What's the range on your dark vision?
60 feet.
Not yet.
We continue forward, holding onto that torch, waiting for the first one, waiting for them to come into my view.
An arrow whistles through the air and hits the cart behind you. And you can hear the triumphant yells of countless goblins and orcs. And they're screaming, "A torch! A torch! We have him!"
I'm going to drop the torch into the pile of torches that came with my explorer pack, so that they all ignite and start burning in the back of the cart. And I'm going to stand up in the driver's seat and shoot them the birds.
Yeah. That's amazing. I don't normally do this, but I'm going to give you a point of DM inspiration in the middle of a session.
Woot!
I'm still dying.
Well, cart on fire, arrows being shot, we ride on. Just me and my war mule.
As you stand there, flipping off the goblins, another arrow flies through the air and strikes you, dealing 5 points of piercing damage.
I'll take that impact like a boss and sit back down in the driver's seat, re-equipping my shield, as hopefully the cart is starting to burn and me and Chewie continue along.
Yeah, the cart is definitely catching fire at this point. You have quite the blaze going on back there, and now you can see goblins in the light of the fire as they are racing up alongside the cart. Some of them with swords in hand, and some of them with bows.
Well, if they're trying to impede the cart's progress or stop Chewie, then I'll probably drop the shield and strike at them with my halberd. But until you tell me the cart is either stopped or can't move forward, I'm going to keep yawing Chewie on, and I'm going to keep trying to ride for as long as we can.
3 more arrows slam into the cart, but one of them hits you and deals another 6 points of piercing damage. 2 of the goblins are now up alongside the driver's seat, and they're trying to jump onto the cart where you're sitting, swords in hand.
Can I give you an athletics check to try and knock them off?
Yes, you can.
Not so good.
Nope. You don't manage to knock them off as... well, let me check the other one. Okay, you do manage to knock one off the side of the cart, but the other one manages to get on there and stabs you with his short sword for 8 points of piercing damage.
I'll use my orcish fortitude to stay standing at 1 hit point.
Okay. Is there anything you would like to do at this point?
knock the goblin off the cart, the one that stabbed me. If I can, I'll use that inspiration to roll a straight roll for my athletics this time.
Actually, a shove is an attack roll. What level exhaustion are you?
Second level exhaustion.
Okay, so you don't have disadvantage on attack rolls, so you can do a shove.
And you're not expecting me to use the inspiration to just make a straight roll?
No, if you want to use the inspiration for advantage, you can, or you can do a reckless
one hit
attack
point,
or
let's do
whatever
it.
you want to do. You shove at the goblin tiredly, and he manages to cling onto your arm and doesn't fall off the cart. But as he's hanging there, dangling off your arm, an arrow pierces him in the side of the head, and he drops to the ground.
All right, I'm going to continue riding the burning cart of glory forward.
You ride the burning cart of glory forward, Chewie struggling with every step, and you watch as a sea of goblins comes charging from ahead of you, and their arrows whiz through the air, taking out goblins behind you. And it's a full-on war between the goblin tribes as the cart makes its way through the press.
Wait, they're going around me?
These are
Yes.
the nice guys.
We successfully found goblins that are on our side.
Maybe.
Or at least don't want to kill you immediately.
Yeah, that's...
Tempus. 2 more arrows slam into the seat behind you, but a third finds your body and deals 3 points of damage.
And that is enough to knock me unconscious.
So you're on a runaway burning cart with a mule while you're unconscious?
About right.
And that's where we're going to leave it for tonight.